A very good morning. I welcome all of you to the second day of 35th Annual CTEF Conference and National Webinar on Emerging Trends in Education, Transforming the Global Scenario, organized by CTEF Punjab College of Education, Chandigarh. On the onset, I would like to pay my regards to our revered Chairman, Sir, and Secretary Dev Samaj, Shriman Nirmal Singh Ji Dhillon, whose dedication and vision has put Dev Samaj institutions on the national map of the country with their star achievements, humanistic values, and academic excellence. I also welcome all the respected presidents, secretaries, members of CTEF National, as well as state chapters, the intellectual stalwarts from far and wide, whose hard work has made this conference possible and supremely successful with more than 600 views on YouTube on the very first day. I also welcome our respected Madam Principal, Dr. Mrs. Agnes Dhillon, whose constant guidance and support is the guiding force of every endeavor of this college. As is customary, we will start this beautiful day with our college prayer, Mubarak hai janam unka jo aaye kam auron ke. I request Madam Rajveer for the rendition of the prayer in her beautiful voice. Madam Rajveer, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes,
Anji, ma'am, very much so.
Yes, very much audible.
Today's prayer is Mubarak hai janam unka jo aaye kaam auron ke. मुबारक है जन्म उनका जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका। हटाए पाप औरों के, सुधारे कर्म औरों के। हटाए पाप औरों के, सुधारे कर्म औरों के। सुधारे कर्म औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका। तुम्हारे दिल जो औरों के, सुधारे दिल जो औरों के। तुम्हारे दिल जो औरों के, सुधारे दिल जो औरों के। सुधारे दिल जो औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका। घटाए दुख जो औरों के, बढ़ाए सुख जो औरों के। घटाए दुख जो औरों के, बढ़ाए सुख जो जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका। बसाए घर जो औरों के, बचाए प्राण औरों के। बसाए घर जो औरों के, बचाए प्राण जो औरों के। बचाए प्राण जो औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका, जो आए काम औरों के। मुबारक है जन्म उनका, जो आए काम औरों के। जो आए काम औरों के। जो आए काम औरों के। Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Rajvi, for this beautiful rendition in your such a beautiful voice, composed voice. Thank you so much. The words of all these much prayers are so inspiring that it always lit those sparks in us, which is a very important ingredient of any educational process. Thank you so much, Madam Rajvi. Now coming to the second day of the conference, it is very special as it is marked with the presentation of CTEF memorial lectures, which are conducted in the memory of the founders, the pillars of CTEF, Dr. G.C. Chaurasia ji, Shri J.P. Naik ji, Dr. K.S. Pillai ji, and Dr. D.R. Ved ji. CTEF is the result of the dedication, commitment, and vision of these great men. All of us together today stand here to pay our respect and thanks to the vision of these great men. The first memorial lecture is dedicated to the memory of our most revered founder of CTEF, Shri G.S. Chaurasia ji. And to present the lecture, we have with us here Dr. Yushosi Guha Madam. She has an illustrious career in education. She has retired as a principal of PG College of Education. Madam is presently an IPR attorney with Government of India, having PhD in law and education, long list of achievements, LLM, MBA, Masters in Human Rights, PG in Cyber Law. Madam is Secretary, Samvedna NGO Protection of Human Rights for Senior Citizens. Madam is also executive member of many more organizations. She is an active member of national body of CTEF. Madam has participated in various international conferences organized by the national educational bodies like NCERT, NIPA, IPA, and on and on. With her vast experience in the field of education, Madam is contributing to various educational policies and reforms. We welcome you, ma'am, to the conference and hand over this portal to you to present Dr. G.C. Chaurasia Memorial Lecture. Thank you, ma'am. We welcome you and the portal is for you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Yushosi.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. I got the honor. This is one of the greatest honor for any of the CTEF members to speak on Dr. G.C. Chaurasia. You know, as the emblem goes, CTEF emblem, it shows the sunrise, the golden rays of sun, the emblem. That very emblem had been a dream of Dr. Gulab Chaurasia, and Chaurasia himself was a son for all the educationists. Did not say what he was. He was full of wisdom and he was full of everything. But I'm again reminded when I saw the logo of DSCE, Dev Samaj College, let scientific temper live through you. That is what he always, I don't know how it coincided, but in the morning when I saw this, let scientific temper live through you, the emblem of DSCE, it is as if Dr. Chaurasia is speaking those days when I was young and I had just entered onto. So this was the tall personality who who had become the, ऐसा कहा जाता है कि गुरुओं के गुरु. Madam, can you kindly enable my sharing of the screen? Because I was trying.
Okay, ma'am, let me check.
Yes.
Ma'am की screen नहीं हो रही.
मैम की स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रही.
Ha, kindly. Till then, if I talk. Yeah. So today I'm going to connect Dr. G.C. Chaurasia with all the fields of education, because his ideals went beyond any boundary. You go and
You
talk
can
to.
do it now. It is working. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, will it? Yes. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
It
So,
is.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. I think many of the books, all the CTE programs, they start by paying homage to Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. And education is par excellence. And he lived with us. It is not 1992. It is wrongly written. It has to be 1922, I believe. From 1922, I have it written. Excuse me.
Yeah, it is 22. 22,
It is
Shashi.
22. I'm
22.
sorry. It is 1922 to 2009.
That's
This
correct.
is his long tenure of contribution to the humanity, long contribution to the world, long contribution to the nation, and long contribution to the educationists. I repeat again his slogan that welfare, teachers' welfare is nation's welfare. The moment he came to know that you, or any teacher has entered into the profession of teaching, he would give his words of wisdom, and then continuously he would guide us. And let me just born on June 25, 1922. See, he was from the central part of India. With his long list, there are more long list of qualifications. Those were the days MA English, MA Education, and LLB were a rare combination. Then, of course, he went abroad, but he did his doctorate, PhD from Columbia University. When he came across, when he met many of the great educationists like John Dewey, Kilpatrick, and others. From there, he picked up so many educational theories. Then he himself formed many of the educational thoughts, and he propounded it. By propounding his thoughts, it went on, starting with many of the organizations. Just I ask all of us to go through this. He was a member of Commonwealth, CEAM Australia. CCEAM is still going on. Council for Educational Administration. Nilima, I, and many of us are fellow of this organization, where many of the subjects are still being carried out through discussions, and we all remember Dr. Chaurasia, and his blessings are with us. His words of wisdom have not faded even after his death. He was president of WCCI. He was chairman of Asian Academy of Education and Culture. He started with Media Center in Bhopal. We can see that he has gone through. I'm just talking like this because I've gone very emotional. But education and then Commonwealth activities, he touched upon administration. He at the same time stressed upon curriculum and instruction. He was very thoughtful about the culture, and he thought that all these areas are connected to media, as if he dreamt that this day we would be talking on internet. So media center he started in Bhopal. And now the media center has developed so much that as if it had been going on, and today the work of with virtual kind of interactions, media center is very busy working, connecting, transmitting, and there are, I think, of media center, we have channels, all these things are going on. Here now I'm coming to how our CTE came into existence. CTE came into existence, it was known as Council of Teacher Education. Even before I pass over to this slide, let me talk about CTE. CTE connected us with all big, thoughtful teachers and educators throughout the world. And this Council of Teacher Education, I remember 2 instances before I go over to human rights, but one instance is he was the person who had identified our beloved Secretary General Nilima Bhagavati. I remember how he picked up Nilima ji while Nilima ji was a student, and I think she was attending one of those, one of those training programs.
Refresher course.
In-service training programs. And Dr. Chaurasia, needless to say, after 2 days I was in Bhopal and he said, I have some very important work with you, so she come down, don't stay in a hotel. I came down, he talked to me about other things. He talked to me about Indian educational services because I was with the administrative services. His wife, Madam Chaurasia, used to love me, and Madam Chaurasia knew about it, and I worked with about human rights with Madam Chaurasia. And what was the main purpose of Chaurasia ji? The first thing he said, you know, मुझे तो सोना मिल गया. मैंने कहा कि कहाँ मिला? अपने को IAS मिल गया क्या? नहीं, ऐसी एक मैडम मिल गई कि I found a gold mine in her. And he said he laughed, you know. He used to laugh. It was like a very innocent laugh. He laughed and he said that ये देखो नीलिमा भगवती आश्रम की है, मुझे पता है ये अपने सिटी को बहुत आगे तक ले जाएगी, अब तो मैं रिटायर हो सकता. And he found this gold mine. He could identify people that who is fit to work with whom. Even he used to talk about Dr. Bhandarkar. I somehow tagged on to him and I learned so many things from him. But he brought into the field of education and administration really gold mine. And he used to bring into talented people to CTE. And see, today CTE is a big banyan tree. And as if Dr. Chaurasia is still living in our hearts through the words. It can never be led Dr. Chaurasia. He is an educationist and his wisdom will go on and on, never before, never after. I remember Madam Sudesh Alawadji. She used to interact with all of us. We used to sit, even without any call for any conference. But Dr. Chaurasia used to say, Dr. K.T. Singh, Dr. Alawat, and people from Punjab, along with Dr. Devraj Vez. Then educationists from Karnataka. And Maharashtra was so close to his motherland, that is Jabalpur. He used to drop down to Nagpur. NCT started from the conference which was held in Katol. That was, I forget the year, but that then
1992.
1992. He called, "Aao Bhandarkar, idhar aao, tumse baat karna hai." And then we would all line up, baat karna hai, and we knew there will be a big thing coming up. And there, Dr. Vez, Dr. Chaurasia, Dr. Rohit Dekkar, Dr. Bhandarkar sir, dhanyavad, Dr. Bhandarkar. And then he just said कि अपने को NCTs चलाना है. There should be a national council, and this will be the working of national council. And Bhandarkar sir immediately said, "चलिए sir, शुरू करते हैं." And Mrs. Bhandarkar, Sheila Bhandarkar, used to feed us, used to make us sit there, and she was the daughter-in-law of Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. So this is how, this simply Dr. Chaurasia used to lead us to bigger things. And we see the dawn of today because Dr. Gulab Chaurasia could pick up people like Nilima Bhagavati and could bring around Dr. Keshav Bhandarkar and other people. Of course, Dr. Vez had always been there, but then all these people, Dr. Rohit Dekkar, Surendranath Dubey, and Beharji was always like a friend, philosopher, guide, sitting next to him. Dr. Rajput, Dr. Usha Rao, Dr. Lulla, Sudeshji, I always talk about. Even Dr. Kirkire was a very noble and a very loyal person attached with Gulabji Chaurasia. And all their inputs were included in his thoughts. And putting together, he formed so many organizations and he contributed to it. Friends, my time is short, but his work was big. He was felicitated with Human Rights Millennium Award by International Association of Educators for World Peace. He got the Millennium Award. We are all proud of it, and how he started with human rights education. All of us knew about human rights through United Nations after World War II. Even during my LLB studies, I knew about human rights, but his name is mentioned as the pioneer of human rights educationist. This is the word that he started and it's still going on. That means making everybody aware about their own human rights. He was appointed on the research board of ABI. He was conferred with this humanitarian award, Albert Schweitzer Humanitarian Award by International Association of Educators for World Peace. This is just a photograph. I'm not mentioning the names, but how he was felicitated through the international bodies. They had been always happy felicitating him. I believe that I can show you this photograph. This photograph goes to 90s. This photograph goes to 90s. The international educators and he being felicitated by them, and Dr. Chaurasia, very simply, I'm showing the arrow, I believe, Dr. Chaurasia, very simply standing tall, knowing very well that I will be propagating welfare of the teachers in the globe. This is the building of Commonwealth. This is our Dr. Chaurasia, beloved Dr. Chaurasia, who still remains as a sunshine, sunlight in the hearts of all those who are in CTEF. This is Dr. Chaurasia and Madam Chaurasia. This is his family, and he always was a dedicated husband, brother, son-in-law to the family. And that's how, whenever he used to come to even visit my place, he would be connected to every member. I still would say that he would say that Nilima is my daughter, and Bhandarkar, his wife. He had come for Bhandarkar's daughter's marriage also. Not a joke. The place becomes pavitra, blessed. And this is Dr. Chaurasia, who even cared for the family, everybody's family, because he used to say CTEF is a family, as Nilima always says. Very lovingly, Nilima always says, where are you? Everybody in the house is good. Nilima, madam, I remembered, I really went back to Dr. Chaurasia's voice when you asked everybody.
I'm becoming so emotional.
I'm becoming so emotional. True. This is again great stone. They were happy to travel with each other. He traveled throughout the world. And the pictures are so many. They are all, I picked up these pictures from his yearbook, the book that was a tribute book. But then Dr. Bhandarkar also sent me so many pictures. I'm coming to Dr. Chaurasia as an educationist. I mean what I have written, his style of governing a large operation. Style of governing. That is, and through short and long meetings, we learned so many styles of governing a large operation. Going to the central ministry, he would hold short meetings first, then tell people like Dr. Riz and Dr. Bihar that what to talk, what to ask, how to go legally. And when you think that these things are going in the positive direction, he would give a big laugh. Again, when he would find that it is not going, people are under pressure and tension, again he would give a big laugh. That was his style. He never let tension mount onto the minds of others. Whether a government college, a private college, in a small village, or big central university, he would never let the tension mount onto the teachers. Yeah. Again, a big umbrella for the teachers. He believed in delegating responsibilities. He was a man of generous spirit who did not mind self-deprecating. Many times he would tell others, "Are bhai, tum to guru ho." And his great laugh was a relief to his stress and tension. This was Dr. Chaurasia. So as an educationist, his style of handling people, his way of working would go a long way. Highly committed to the cause of quality education in national policy, NEP, we talk so much about quality. But those were the days. He would never delete the word quality. Jo bhi karte ho, quality ho. Innovation start karo, educational innovation. And that's why I connected this innovation word with the logo of DSCE. Let scientific temper live through you, all the teachers. My salutes to Dev Samaj College of Education. And there I find living word of Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. Thank you very much, Dev Samaj College. He was a lecturer in English. He was with regional college, good institutes. He floated the idea of CTE we are sitting into, and he was instrumental in framing need-based curriculum for courses. The curriculum, that CBCS curriculum that we are following, that is need-based curriculum for courses, which was initiated, thought out by Chaurasia ji. When I say that Dr. Chaurasia, he did this, he did that, but I'm trying to connect the past with present, and this will go on in the future. So Gulab Chaurasia, a great man, was born. He contributed. He is still present through his words and wisdom and thoughts. He will be known for all the futuristic principles that he gave. He was a great supporter of adult education. He established Media Center, and last bullet, his declaration on status of teachers was accepted by UNESCO in 1966. Just see which year UNESCO accepted the declaration for the teachers. He was a great teacher. Yeah, we just saw, it was just the tip of the iceberg. One who really knew him would go on explaining how he was so many days after days, moments after moments, we cherish. Here's another part. He was a great humanist. Please give me 5 more minutes. He also established cross-cultural curriculum development. Today, we talk so much about cross-cultural management, but then he said that there can be cross-cultural curriculum development. We have our World Council of Administration, we have World Constitution, but this is the seed that Dr. Chaurasia had given, cross-cultural curriculum. That means, according to the culture, the curriculum should be developed such that the students who are from India, they understand, respect the culture of another country, such that war would be less and peace will be established. So Dr. Chaurasia's legacy is one that of commitment, compassion, scholarship in the field of peace and cross-cultural development. This is another seed of culture that will remain for millennium and millenniums to come. Dr. Chaurasia was a simple man. That's it. He was so simple that it was very difficult to identify, to pick up that what he is really trying to indicate. He treated everybody equally, whether it was Behar sir or Ushoshi or Nilima. Of course, Dr. Bhandarkar has inculcated the same spirit along with Dr. Kuchvidar and Nilimaji, treating everyone equally, admiring qualities and ignoring faults. These are the skills, you know. Today we talk about National Curriculum Framework given by NCT. All these qualities he held, and he had been telling, these are the professional skills also, along with the behavioral skills. Treating equally, admiring qualities, ignoring faults, encouraging struggling youngsters by giving them support, giving due credit, taking praise and criticism with equanimity, respecting even those who express strong disagreement, and remembering individual by name. It was so surprising. He was an organization man. CTEF, the big banyan tree. Friends, I will fall short if I don't see what were his two passions. One passion was developing professional organization and adding an international dimension. Dr. Chaurasia, I believe that under the guidance of all the stalwarts of CTEF, these two things have happened. Effective CTEF, and it has been taken to international dimension. Thanks to Dr. Nilima Bhagavati, Dr. Bhandarkar, and Khushwinder ji, and all others who are with them, with Dr. Nilima Chaurasia. He never ran out of ideas piling up one above another. You stay with him for 1 hour, 60 minutes, he'll come up with 10 ideas. It is up to you to take whatever you can. He had convictions. Miracles happen in everyday classrooms. This is something I learned personally, and many people say, Madam, really miracles happen. So I believe all my students, they know the name Gulab Chaurasia and how miracles happen in everyday classroom of teachers everywhere. All the teachers would detect some miracle happening in the classroom. Miracle of the teacher who is performing or who is giving the lecture. Miracle happening to the students, ideas coming, ideas overflow. And then he believed in publications. He initiated new schemes in various colleges. He initiated new schemes. So in RC, the scheme was meant to prepare integrated course. He started contact cum correspondence course. He started CTE movement. He started, and then everybody by now knows that IES was his brainchild, which never could be fulfilled. Maybe we in CTE, we bring it in some other name. He was a Gandhi. Padho Kamao. He was on the Gramodyog board, and basically these were his 4 schemes. Every school was to go a loom placed in the school. Children would prepare tatpattis. The department purchased this for use in schools. Children got paid for this. So this was the scheme of Padho or Kamao. Just another 2 minutes. He, as a visionary, he believed in, or he propounded, the power of one. That is integrating or blend of quality, competence, and character. Yesterday, while I was hearing Dr. Pushpanadam and Dr. Hemlata Talesra, I was just coming across the professional teacher, the requirements of the professionalism in the teacher. And I found that Chaurasia ji has always written that a teacher should be a blend of quality, competence, and character. This is power of one teacher, the teacher who has quality, competence, and character. And then recognizing the power of teacher, Dr. Chaurasia believed that systematic reforms that would help teachers teaching as an attractive profession of choice for bright and talented mind. It always pained him to know that a talented fellow would go in another, not in teaching, but in another profession. To every young or small child, he would always ask, "Kya banna hai tumhe?" Teacher nahi banna hai. That is how. So he always infused in everybody the power of teaching. As a visionary, he started with a 4-year integrated course. Now, today also, we are thinking why many of the places have this integrated course. The B.Ed degree will teach a range of knowledge, but shorter post-B.Ed, come to my next bullet, yes, he had been telling that shorter post-B.Ed certification courses should be available for career growth of teachers. But he said that they should be certification courses, not the today's in-service teachers courses. But then he spoke on recruitment and employment. And he was the person who started with thinking on TET. And today TET is established, and in every region TET has been implemented. And thank you, Dr. Gulab Chaurasia, because you are the person who had talked about TET. Dr. Chaurasia called on for Indian teachers, and he said that the time has come when the Indian teachers should seize the opportunity to become makers of their own destiny. That is, he wanted the teachers to be confident, and he was the person yesterday, Dr. Kishori said, that why you are not saying with pride that I am a teacher? Why do you want to say that you are an IAS officer? No, it was Dr. Chaurasia's vision who had said that make your own destiny. Become an aware, enthusiastic, and empowered practitioner like a doctor or an engineer or an advocate. Share your ideas, grow by experimenting and researching. These 3 words, they look small, my dear, but then he continuously said with loud voice that new ideas, share it, experiment it, research upon it. Dr. Bhandarkar would agree with it. How loudly he used to say, and immediately we used to start thinking, experimenting, and researching. He said, gain insights also from thoughts, beliefs, and experiences with your peer practitioners. Along with experimenting, you experience with your peer practitioners and you grow. And there are so many things to talk about Dr. Gulab Chaurasia, but then as Dr. Chaurasia, he would always say, I'll end up my 2 words by saying, as Dr. Chaurasia used to sing it, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. He used to sing this typically. I did not sing it. So, बाजुए कातिल में. This is our humble homage to Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. You will be alive with us through your words, through your dedication, and through whatever you have propounded to us. This is a humble homage from all of us in CTA. Your words will remain with us forever. And I always say, there was never before another man like Gulab Chaurasia, and it will take time for future education is visionary and humanist to come, who would be exactly fitting on to Dr. Chaurasia, but we are dedicating and carrying on your words very faithfully and very sincerely. May your soul rest in peace. Thank you very much. This is our humble homage to Dr. Gulab Chaurasia. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम, आपने इतने सुंदर तरीके से इतनी बढ़िया प्रेजेंटेशन दी है। हम में से जो लोगों को ये मौका नहीं मिला था उनसे मिलने का, यू हैव पेंटेड सच अ ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर ऑफ चौरसिया सर विद योर वर्ड्स एंड इमोशंस। हमें ऐसा लग रहा है हम उनसे मिल ही लिए हैं। हमारे भी यहाँ पर अभी हमारे कोलीग्स बता रहे थे, कहते हम सर से मिले, इतनी सुंदर कलरफुल शर्ट्स वो पहनते थे, इतनी पॉजिटिव रंगों से
वो अभी भी जीवित है, वही कलरफुल शर्ट में दिखाना चाहते थे, लेकिन
हाँ,
समय
तो
नहीं लगा।
इतनी मैम मुझे मौका नहीं मिला था, पर आपके शब्दों से मतलब मेरा दिल इमोशंस के साथ भर गया और ऐसा लगता कि मौका मिल जाता तो शायद हमें भी एक और इंस्पिरेशन का मौका मिलता, पर आपके शब्दों ने कोई कमी नहीं छोड़ी मैम।
उनके
इतने सुंदर
फोटोग्राफ्स
तरीके
से
से
हम लोग सब जीवित है। और मैडम आप प्लीज देव समाज काउंसिल आपके कॉलेज को बता दीजिए कि आपका मोटो जैसे उन्हीं से लिया हुआ है, ये मोटो ले लेके हम लोग चल
मैम, ये भी
रहे
हमारे
हैं।
जो
Salutes to the
फाउंडर थे।
motto. Yes,
हाँ जी मैम, देव समाज
CTEF
का भी क्योंकि
salutes your motto.
हाँ जी,
Thank
थैंक यू
you.
सो मच
Yes,
मैम,
ma'am.
आई विल डेफिनेटली डू दैट मैम।
Yes.
I'll just add one thing.
Yeah.
We are actually observing the birth centenary year of our very beloved Chaurusia ji.
Yes, yes,
We
I
started,
forgot to tell that.
We
Yes.
started in June 21, and it will come to an end in 22 June. And hopefully, with his blessings from above, we are thinking to, host a good, congregation of all the CTEF workers in Bhopal in
Yes.
22. The place he loved, the place which
Oh,
he served the Lord.
Yes.
It's
But
very
he-
dear to our
Madam, sorry to interrupt, but his birthplace is Jabalpur.
Jabalpur, but
What
we can
place?
make it in Japan. We
And
can make it in.
we are having very good connections in Jabalpur.
हाँ
Okay,
भंडार
We
okay.
can do it in Bhopal
Okay.
also. Damodar
Yeah.
Jain is there.
We'll do in both the places.
In
because
both the places, workplace and birthplace.
birthplace and workplace. Yeah, right.
I would like to add
That
one
is
more
so
thing.
wonderful and so nice of all of you to
And
pay
all
such
of you
wonderful
must
Yeah.
come. All of you must be there.
Madam,
Yeah.
it was out of effort of Dr. Chaurasia that we are observing World Teachers Day on
Yes.
5th of October.
On 5th October,
Yes.
yeah.
And he was the only Indian to become chairman of the World Council for Curriculum and
And
Instruction.
instruction. Yes.
WCCI. Yes, that I said. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Shashi.
Yes,
It's
sir.
wonderful.
Thank you, Goa madam. Thank
But
you.
it was just tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
There
yes,
were
yes,
so many,
definitely.
so many.
Definitely.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
really
so much
indebted
मैम,
to the
थैंक यू सो
council
मच।
for
आपकी
giving me a
प्रेजेंटेशन
chance
भी
to
हमें
talk
बहुत
about
बहुत लंबे समय तक याद रहेगी मैम, और इतनी
Right.
देने का तरीका भी आज हमने आपसे सीखा है
Oh,
मैम, बहुत ही बढ़िया। वी आर सो इम्प्रेस्ड, हाईली इम्प्रेस्ड।
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And ma'am, this is time now for second memorial lecture of the day in the memory of Shri J.P. Naik ji. And to present, this is our proud privilege to welcome our very own Shri K.M. Bhandarkar sir. He doesn't need any introduction, but for all those who are new young teachers and to inspire our own selves, we would like to say a few words about him. Sir is the national president of CTEF. The achievement of such wonderful personalities are always so inspiring for all of us. All of us who have had the privilege of meeting sir personally is always in awe, sir, by your personality, your composed, graceful personality. And we can never forget in times, आज भी हमारे यहाँ पर सब colleagues वही time याद कर रहे थे जब आपने college visit किया और यहाँ आए थे. We are always so in awe of your composed personality. Thank you so much, sir. Sir has been the principal of Punjabi Bhai Patel College of Education, Goinda, Maharashtra. Sir was director of Nagpur region of Yashwantrao Chavan, Maharashtra Open University, Nasik. Sir was dean faculty of education, again Nagpur. Then he was member of Board of Universities, Faculty of Education, Senate, Academic Council, and Management Council of RTM Nagpur University. Sir has worked on various academic and statutory bodies of several universities of India. Sir is the chief editor of CTE National Journal. Sir has authored more than 15 books in Marathi, Hindi, English on popular subjects like population education, environment education, psychology, statistics, and so many other books too. Sir has co-authored number of books published by Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary Education, Pune, as well as co-authored books which have been published by Yashwantrao Chavan, Maharashtra Open University, Nasik, as well as National Institute of Open Schooling. Sir, so many books to your credit. This is brilliant, brilliant achievement, sir. Sir has been awarded with numerous awards. Bharat Gaurav Award of India, International Friendship Society in 1998. Sir has been awarded with Excellence in Teacher Education Award of Council of Teacher Education 2006. National International Fellowship of Maharashtra, Patrikar Sangh 2007. Sir has been awarded with Ideal Principal Award of RTM Nagpur University 2014. Sir has been awarded with MB Butch Gratefulness Award of Maharashtra Teacher Education Association 2016. Sir, there is a long, long list. I think I might have missed on certain things, but I think everyone knows about Sir, how long Sir has been achievements, been a long, long list of achievements. And sir, this is our total proud honor to welcome you to this institution and this conference and to present the memorial lecture of Shri J.P. Naik. Welcome, sir, and the portal is over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. In fact, my greatest achievement is I am student of Dr. G. Chaurasia. First of all, let me pay my tributes to the stalwarts in education, Dr. G. Chaurasia. Yes, Dr. G. Chaurasia, a great personality by all means. Dr. K. Sivasan Pillai, a great education from Kerala. And Dr. Devraj Vij, an inspiring personality from Punjab. And Dr. J.P. Naik. In fact, his name is Naik, but in North India, it is pronounced as Nayak. I am very much thankful to Dev Samaj Trust and its secretary, Nirmal Singh Ji Dhillon, and principal of Dev Samaj College of Education, Dr. Agnish Madam, Charanjit Madam, and all team members from the Dev Samaj College of Education. It's a wonderful institution. And some 2 years back, I have visited that institution. So thanks for organizing this wonderful conference. I will fail in my duty if I don't express my gratitude towards Nirmala Bhagwati Madam, Nilima Bhagwati Madam, and then Satinder Dhillon Madam, Khurana Madam, Guha Madam, my friend Khushwinder Sir, my friend Pargat Ji, and all the members, family members of CTEF. And how can we forget Dr. S.D. Singh? So many hundreds and hundreds of educationists are associated with this organization. And I express my gratitude towards all of them. Friends, as you know, some people are born in very noble families, but some people are not born in so noble families. Their background may or may not be of high status, but out of efforts, they travel from darkness to light. They live in light, they die in light, and after their death, they are remembered for their work. And such is the personality of Jain Pandurang Naik. He was born in a very, very small village. In September 1907, the name of the village was Bhairewadi. and it is in Kolhapur district. And you can simply think of the life in village. He was born in poor family. There was no facilities. There was no so-called hi-fi schools. Nothing was there. But still, he continued to learn throughout his life, especially in his childhood. He had to struggle a lot. But after schooling, he went to Kolhapur city. Kolhapur is a big city in Maharashtra. And he continued his school education there. After completing his school education, he went to Bombay University. And as you know, Kolkata, Bombay, Madras, these are three oldest universities in India. Then he was married to Chitra Naik, a great lady again. She received Padma Shri award from Government of India and was also appointed as member of the Planning Commission. And J.P. Naik received Padma Bhushan from Government of India. He actively participated in civil disobedience movement initiated by Mahatma Gandhi in 1930. इसको असहकार आंदोलन कहा जाता है. उसमें उन्होंने हिस्सा लिया. मैं ये कहूंगा कुछ हिस्से का नेतृत्व भी उन्होंने किया. He was a freedom fighter and became underground in 1930. His real name was Vitthal Hari Ghodge. He changed his name in order to hide his identity from British government. जो भी सरकार के खिलाफ जाता था उसको जेल में डाल दिया जाता था. आपको पता है, और पंजाब तो ऐसा स्टेट है जहां क्रांतिकारियों का कोई गिनती नहीं. बेहिसाब क्रांतिकारी भगत सिंह जैसे उनके साथी, और ये तो क्रांतिकारों को भूमि है. तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि उन्होंने किस प्रकार से अपने आप को छिपाने के लिए अपना नाम तक बदल दिया. Original name was Vitthal Hari Ghodge, and then he became Jain Pandurang Naik. He was arrested, but still he was arrested and sentenced to 2 years rigorous imprisonment and was kept in Bellary jail of Karnataka. During imprisonment, he requested jail authorities to allow him to work as ward boy in a hospital. There was a hospital attached to that jail, and J.P. Naik requested the authorities, especially the jailer, to allow him to work as ward boy in that hospital. He sincerely served patients and studied medicine. Look at the dedication of this man. After getting free from jail, he started Health for All program. In Betigiri, this is in Karnataka, and Karadiguda villages near Dharwad, Karnataka. He performed minor surgeries and became godman for the villagers. There were no facilities of, actually, there were no hospitals in rural areas of Karnataka at that time. And J.P. Naik used to perform minor surgeries also. So he became a godman for the villagers. He became famous as barefoot doctor. There was no time limit for him. He was working 24/7. He was always in the service of villagers. and was popularly known as barefoot doctor. कहीं भी जाते थे, किसी भी समय. J.P. Nayak started balwadis in 30 villages, started night classes and adult education program for illiterates. In fact, the National Adult Education Program, which was launched in 1977, was out of idea of J.P. Nayak. He started to observe Teachers' Day from 1950. One thing we should remember, he was born on 5th September. But he started to observe Teachers' Day in the memory of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. In order to dedicate the efforts of Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, his work in the field of education, and as you know, he was a great philosopher and a great teacher, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. He started mobile libraries on bullock carts, the first of its kind in India. अब कोई व्हीकल नहीं, कुछ नहीं, कोई साधन नहीं, किताबें कहीं से ला लिए, खरीद लिए, कहीं डोनेशन में कलेक्ट कर लिए और उसको बैलगाड़ी में रखते थे और गांव-गांव में घूमते थे कि ये किताबें आप पढ़ो. फिर वो किताबें कलेक्ट करने से फिर वही जाते थे. So that is a kind of very innovative library and first of its kind in India. He also constructed buildings for schools, rural hospitals, and hostels for the poor and backward class students. So we can imagine his dedication towards students' community, towards downtrodden people. He established Janta colleges, that is community colleges, again an innovative idea. Social reform institutes, agriculture and cottage industries. As you know, at that time, agriculture was the main source of actually GDP, gross national product, GNP, gross national product. And the contribution of agriculture in gross national product was about 65% at that time, which has been reduced to merely 28% at present. तो भारत कृषि प्रधान देश था, जो कि कहा जाए कि अब हम इसे ऐसा नहीं कह सकते. और जैसा कि वी.के. कृष्ण मेनन, इन्होंने 6 घंटा और 50 मिनट लेक्चर दिया था यूनाइटेड नेशंस के सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल में, और दैट वाज द लॉन्गेस्ट लेक्चर इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशंस. और उन्होंने ये कहा था कि भारत एक समृद्ध देश है जिसमें गरीब लोग रहते हैं. वो आज भी लागू है. जो हमारे रिसोर्सेस है उनका हम उपयोग नहीं कर पाए, हमको मानना होगा. He established cooperative societies, and Maharashtra is the place of cooperative societies. There are hundreds and hundreds of cooperative banks and cooperative societies. It is known for cooperative societies. Land of cooperative societies is Maharashtra. Drama groups. He was equally interested in playing dramas, in directing dramas, and he established drama groups also. He established Indian Institute of Education at Bombay in 1948. And later on in Pune also. He established Mauni Vidyapith. Mauni was a very famous saint in the area of, in the district of Kolhapur. And this university, was actually a rural university. It was in the name of Mauni, Saint Mauni. It was established in Gargoti, the name of village near Kolhapur, in 1952. and he started skill-based education there. So you can imagine his innovativeness. In the year 1952, he was thinking about skill-based education, and now NEP 2020 is giving much stress on skill-based education. So you can simply imagine he was actually appointed as Chief Executive Officer of ICSSR. He was in fact played a very pivotal role in establishment of the Indian Council of Social Science Research at Delhi. Then he was member of the NCRT, as he was very close friend of Dr. G. Chaurasia. So these people were behind the establishment of the Institute of National Repute, National Status, NCRT, NIPA, then ICSSR. He was chairperson of the Indian Institute of Education, then member secretary of the National Education Commission, that is Kothari Commission, 1964-66. And what was the the key sentence of this commission? The destiny of India is being shaped in her classroom. And this very sentence was coined by J.P. Nayak. He was member secretary, education advisor to the government of India, UNESCO consultant for universalization of elementary education in Asia. We were supposed to achieve this target by 1977, but still it remains to be achieved. But in fact, Dr. J.P. Nayak was behind this idea, that is universalization of elementary education, UEE. And Dr. Chaurasia, of course, was again a great supporter of universalization of elementary education. He had written 35 books, and he also prepared so many reports. Some of the books and reports are as under History of Modern Indian Education, very famous document, very famous book. Educational Planning in India, Elementary Education in India, the Unfinished Business. Still it remains unfinished. An alternative system of health care in India, some prospects in non-formal education, the Education Commission and after. And you will be surprised to know that UNESCO has published a document in 1997, and that is 100 Thinkers of the World. And it included 3 persons from India: Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, and J.P. Nayak. He was honored with Padma Bhushan in 1974 by the government of India. J.P. Nayak was the follower of Mahatma Gandhi. As mentioned earlier, he participated in Asahakar Andolan. He adopted and followed the principle of simple living and high thinking. He used to wear pajama of khadi and shirt. He was polymath and encyclopedic thinker. Yes, he was open-hearted enthusiastic, and great supporter and follower of secularism and democratic values. He rendered dedicated and selfless services to the nation and humanity. He used to draw token salary of ₹1 per month during whole of his tenure on various prestigious positions. Though he held so many positions, he used to draw salary of ₹1. That was again a token salary only. So you can simply imagine his sacrifice, his selflessness. And he used to live in a small room in UGC area itself. He used to sleep there and work day and night. He was a great promoter of the value dignity for labor. He himself worked as mason for construction of buildings at Mauni Vidyapit. We can imagine. His integrity was of very high order. He loved students and people at large and worked tirelessly for betterment of their life. J.P. Nayak was thus a noble servant of humanity and an epitome of human values. As you know, the whole journey of education is from human being to being human. And the various commissions, especially NAP 1986, started with the sentence that no people in any country can rise above the level of their teachers. And NAP 2020 mentions that teacher is a torch bearer. And Professor R.S. Dave has given us 4 categories of teachers. Category number 1, competency absent, commitment absent. Category number 2, competency present, commitment absent. Category number 3, competency absent, commitment present. And category number 4, competency present, commitment present. So J.P. Nayak was a great teacher, a teacher with several competencies and commitment of very high order. And Bhagwan Buddha has also categorized people in 4 categories. Category number 1, people who are born in darkness, they live in darkness, they die in darkness. Category number 2, people who are born in darkness, they move towards light and die in light. People who are born in light move towards darkness due to their bad habits, due to addiction, and they die in darkness. People who are born in light, they live in light, they die in light. J.P. Nayak was a person who was born in darkness. He moved towards light and he died in the light. So this was J.P. Nayak. I am very much grateful to the organizers for giving me a chance to give my presentation on this stalwart. Thank you. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सो मच सर। कॉन्फ्रेंसेस और वेबिनार्स तो मुझे लगता है हमने कई अटेंड किए, पर इतना आई ओपनर ये कॉन्फ्रेंस रहा है, और खास करके ये मेमोरियल लेक्चर्स जो आज हम सुनने को मिल रहे हैं, और सर इतने सुंदर शब्दों में इतनी सारी चीजें हैं। ऐसा लग रहा है कि जितना हम एजुकेशन में बीएड और एमएड में इतना समय लगाते हैं सब चीजों को कराने में, आप सबने उसको इतना क्रक्स में इतने सुंदर तरीके से समझा दिया है। और जैसे अब सर आपने नायक सर के बारे में जिस तरीके से बताया, मतलब इट हैज बीन सो वंडरफुल। कहते हैं ना कि बस सारा समझ में आने लगा कि सिस्टम अब लगता है कितना जरूरी है हम सबके लिए जो हम अभी जॉब्स में हैं, इन चीजों को समझना और कैसे आप सारी सिस्टम को, एजुकेशन को यहाँ तक लेकर आए हैं। थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर दिस वंडरफुल प्रेजेंटेशन। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you very much, madam.
So we'll move forward to Memorial Lecture 3 for Dr. K.S. Pillai sir, which will be presented by Mr. V.R. Regu. Sir, this is our proud privilege to welcome you to this conference and Dev Samaj College of Education. Telling in brief about sir, again sir has had wonderful stress experience and excellence achievements long list. Sir has 28 years of academic experience. Sir has served as Director, Shramik Vidyapeeth, University of Kerala. Sir has been Chairman, Board of Studies, Academic Coordinator, Dean of Research, Controller of Examinations, and many other positions sir has held in Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Government of India. Sir has been awarded with numerous awards. He has been awarded with Mohan Sinha Mehta Research Fellowship Adult Education Award 1988. Again, another award, Sardar Patel.
Madam, you are muted.
National Vice President, Sorry, I'll repeat. I think my voice got muted. Sorry for the interruption. I'm extremely sorry. This little technical problem. I'll repeat. Giving a brief introduction of Mr. V. Regu sir. Sir has had 28 years of academic experience. Sir has served as Director, Shramik Vidyapeeth, University of Kerala. Sir has been Chairman, Board of Studies, Academic Coordinator, Dean of Research, Controller of Examination, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Government of India. Sir has been awarded with numerous awards, Mohan Sinha Mehta Research Fellowship Adult Education Award 1988. Sir has been also awarded with Sardar Patel Literacy Award 2002 for the contributions in the field of continuing education for the last 20 years. Sir has been awarded with Good Service Entry Award 2005-06 by University of Kerala. Sir has been given Excellence Award by Council of Teacher Education 2016. Sir has been National Vice President AER 21-22. Sir has been holding various positions on various national and state educational bodies. Sir has been Consultant, State Institute of Education, Management, Administration and Training, Kerala. Sir has been Consultant again at Kerala State Literacy Mission Authority. So there is a long list. I might have missed on certain aspects. I'm not very sure, but I have tried to give a brief introduction because I think in achievements of all of you, these stalwarts we are meeting here today is a long list. And this thing is so little to give a good introduction of what two people have achieved in your life. So, sir, we earnestly welcome you to our college and this conference to present Dr. K.S. Pillai Memorial Lecture. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Raghu, sir. You are audible.
Yeah, our Honorable President, Dr. Bhandarkar, our Secretary General, Professor Nilima Bhagavati, my co-presenters, Dr. Usha Sigua, Dr. Bhandarkar, Ms. Reshmi Khurana, Saranjit Kaur from the college, my friends, colleagues, and teacher educators. Well, I am thankful to the organizers, the college, and the city national for inviting me to present Dr. K. Shivdasan Pillai Memorial Lecture. Well, I am given 25 minutes time as per the schedule. I have divided my talk into two parts. Part A, 50% of the time will be invested in memory of Dr. K. Shivdasan Pillai, who was my teacher. The second part, I would like to focus on educational research and certain highlights related to educational research in India, because Dr. Pillai was very much committed to educational research in the country. Well, I would like to start my presentation. Is it visible now? Can you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please
Okay.
continue.
Dr. K. Shivdasan Pillai Memorial Lecture. You know, Dr. Pillai, K. Shivdasan Pillai, 1935 to 2007. Around 70% of his time was invested in teacher education and adult education. He was the founder director of Adult and Continuing Education, University of Kerala. He committed himself for teacher education. He served as the National Vice President of Indian Adult Education Association, New Delhi. Now, when we talk about, when we remember Dr. Pillai, he was an acknowledged, he served as an academician. He's an acknowledged academician. He was a great teacher, educator with a passion, and his commitment for research is well known and well acknowledged. He was an extension educator. He served as a social worker and an author. These are some of the major features of contributions of Dr. K. Shivdasan Pillai. Now, as an academician, he served as the emeritus professor, that is UGC, in the University of Kerala. He supported in establishing more departments of adult and continuing education in Indian universities in different parts of the country. He was an expert member in the UGC subcommittee for education as well as adult education. Well, Dr. Pillai was honored with the different honors and awards. I would like to list some of the major items. Number one is Nehru Literacy Award, which is instituted by Indian Adult Education Association, New Delhi, and Sardar Patel Literacy Award International. He was honored with that award in the year 2002 for his meritorious contributions in adult and continuing education. As an author, Dr. Pillai was the founder, editor and publisher of the journal International Educator, that was so popular in Asian countries, not only in India, in other Asian countries also. And he has published not less than 30 books in English. The focus was on education. Some of these books were, listed for B.Ed and M.Ed courses by universities in Kerala, number of universities in Kerala. Some of them were reference books. Some of them were, books referred for the bachelor's degree and master's degree in education. And he has written 22 books in the local language, in Malayalam. Some of them were on teacher education, some of them on non-formal education, and some of them on adult education. And he contributed a lot in that respect. Now, coming to the authorship, a number of articles in national and international journals and publications. He has contributed a number of journals, which was published from Germany, from USA, from Australia, from Canada, a number of countries. And he has contributed not less than 200 research papers touching different aspects of education, school education, higher education, research in the field of education, like that, different areas of education at national and international levels. Then as a research guide, he has a passion for research. As a research guide, 30 scholars were awarded PhD under his guidance, covering different aspects of education, teaching, learning, technology, teacher education, like that, touching different aspects of education. 30 scholars were awarded PhD under his guidance from different universities in Kerala. And he has guided not less than 200 theses at PG level in education, in psychology, in sociology, and related social sciences. And he has supported a number of students in doing their research work. He was, in addition to these areas, he was co-guide to many research programs and consultant to different universities in taking up different research projects. Now, building human society. His active leadership in CTE. It is well known for all of us, the old generation, national level and state level. He supported, he contributed in strengthening Council for Teacher Education and related programs in Kerala and at national level. Now coming to teacher education. Now he took special interest in developing teacher education policy. Now certain suggestions were given. For example, they thought of at that time under Dr. Pillai, they thought of establishing Indian Education Service, like we know IAS, Indian Administrative Service, like that. Indian Education Service was suggested at that time to Government of India, and the teacher education policy, what is to be done, how it is to be developed, it is to be strengthened. All those things were discussed at different levels, and he was much worried about quality assurance in teacher education and training colleges, in colleges of teacher education, how to assure quality in teaching, quality in learning, and quality in management of teacher education organizations and institutions. He took very much interest in those areas. Then the quality of teacher quality was an area of concern for him, and a number of programs, workshops, colloquiums, research studies were carried out under the leadership of Dr. K. Shivadasan Pillai to improve the teacher quality at national level and at state level. Now coming to learner quality, how to improve the learner quality. That is another area of concern. When we talk about teacher education, if learners are of weak quality, of course, that will have a negative impact in the whole process of education. He was very much concerned about learner quality, how to improve the quality of the learner, how to improve the quality of learning, how to improve the teaching learning process. All those things were thoroughly discussed by Dr. Pillai. Then quality learning process, now that was another area of concern. Number of programs were organized at state level and at national level in support with the UGC, finance and all. Number of programs were organized in improving the quality learning programs throughout the country. Then he thought of quality circles, putting certain institutions together. Why don't we think about quality circles? That was his idea, and it was launched in Kerala, and it was one of the attractive programs to improve the quality of teacher education program in the country. Then he thought of organizing research teams at state level and at national level, because an individual cannot do much, but if it is a teamwork, they can contribute a lot. That was his philosophy. And he organized different research teams to strengthen research programs. Number of his PhD programs, now under his guidance, he thought about these research teams, and number of studies were carried about in the area of teacher education to support policymakers and government for improvements. So that was another area of concern. Then coming to next area, teacher empowerment programs. How to empower the teacher education programs, teacher empowerment in-service programs and pre-service programs. Now, when we talk about B.Ed, M.Ed and all, it is a kind of pre-service program. When teachers are in service, how to strengthen the quality. At that time, the present training programs were not available at that point of time when he was in action. So teacher empowerment programs were focused. A number of programs were designed at that time. I remember through All India Radio, number of programs were organized because that was the technology available at that point of time. And through All India Radio Trivandrum, All India Radio, Calicut stations in Kerala, number of teacher empowerment programs were organized with the help of All India Radio. Then variety of research projects were launched to empower the teachers. Teachers were trained to conduct grassroots level research projects. Then lot of innovations were carried out in teaching. Teachers were invited, they were given orientation, they were supported in organizing innovations with the help of State Institute of Education at that point of time. Then how to apply ICT. Now the ICT, the concept of ICT at that point of time was quite different. So radio was supplied, then the variety of programs were developed to support teachers to strengthen the quality of teaching. Then coming to application of education technology in teacher education elementary level, that means primary level, then teacher education at secondary level and higher secondary education, then research in education technology. And all those things were focused by Dr. Pillai at that point of time to strengthen the total programs and process. Now coming to his social contributions, active role in Kerala library movement. Now Kerala is well known for the readership and the library movement. It was during his tenure, the Kerala library movement was honored with Krupskaya mention by UNESCO. He took very active leadership in strengthening the library movement of Kerala and the literacy programs of Kerala. And leading role, he played a very important role, very key role in total literacy campaign of Kerala. All of us are aware about it. The Kerala literacy program was a model to the whole country, and he took as a teacher educator, he took very active leadership in strengthening the total literacy program, training of the volunteers, training of the teachers, and he played a model role in strengthening the total literacy program in Kerala, for which the whole India is aware about it. And he played a key role in establishing and popularizing International Association of Educators for World Peace. Dr. Pillai was a peace educator too. He established branches in different parts of the country, which is affiliated to UNESCO and all, International Association of Educators for World Peace. So in peace education also, he contributed his key role. So these are some of the major highlights and contributions of Dr. K. Chivadasan Pillai. So we salute, we respect his contributions, the great teacher educator with passion and commitment. Well, now I come to the second part of my presentation, my thoughts, that is educational research in India, certain highlights. Why I focus on research? Because Dr. Pillai, in his career, he was a committed researcher, research with passion. That was his commitment. And when you come to research in the new education policy, the major focus is quality education in India. All of us are aware about it. How to improve the quality. Now, when you talk about higher education, the backbone of a country, higher education is the backbone of a country in contributing in factors like socio-cultural development, economic and intellectual development. These things are very important when you talk about higher education. Now, I would like to, I will focus on education research in India. What is happening? Now, when we talk about education research in India, major focus is academic in nature. Most of the studies are done, with a focus on academics. Studies having policy implications are very, very limited. And as teacher educators and academicians working in the field of education, it is high time that we think about policy matters in education. If you take top best higher education system in the world, I am quoting top 5 best higher education system. It starts with the USA, UK, Canada, Germany, and Australia. Why they are the best? Top 5 factors are they have got a very strong research base. If you take any of these countries, their research base in education is very, very strong. They are very much committed for that. Then the international recognition of these organizations working in the countries. Then their GDP share for promoting education and the money and other resources invested in education. These are the major factors when we talk about the best top 5 education systems in the world. Now, when we come to India, a study was carried out in the year 2006 by one Chatterjee from New York, USA, and one Satya P. Maulik, Jadavpur University. I would like to highlight some of the major points of the study. The study shows that doctoral education and academic research in India, the state of doctoral education and academic research in India is not at all satisfactory. That is what the study says. This happened in 2006, years back. In terms of resources, facilities, opportunities granted to PhD students, that is also not up to the level, not at all satisfactory. Then the faculty, quality of the faculty, financial resources, academic leadership, these are some of the major areas which need more attention when we talk about doctoral program in our country. These are the major highlights of the study carried out by a team of researchers. Now, when it comes to a doctoral degree in our country, only a dozen doctorates till 1920. In the beginning of 90s, very limited studies were carried out. The first PhD awarded in India was 1904. Now, in 2007, if you take the statistics, 2017, 24,000 studies are carried out in all disciplines from 900 higher education institutions in India. Only 24,000 studies. I am quoting the statistics available at that point of time, 2017. Now, in the new education policy, we are giving more importance to research program. The National Research Foundation as an apex body, fostering a strong research culture and building a research capacity across higher education. There's a plan, there is a highlight. There's a very important area which is focused in the new education policy. I am focusing on research only. So we hope this body will be able to strengthen their research programs in the country. Now, there is another highlight in the new education policy, multidisciplinary education and research universities. We call it MERU, at par with IITs, IIMs, best multidisciplinary education of global standards in the country. That is a dream. How it is going to be implemented? We need more resources. We need more qualified manpower. We need many other resources. We don't know what is going to happen. This is a plan suggested by the policy. Now, when you talk about investment in education, now they increase the public investment from 3% of the GDP. Not even 3%. It is something like 2.9, but we say 3% in the education sector. It is declared by the Prime Minister of India that we are going to reach 6% of the GDP. That is doubling the investment in the nearest future. And we don't know from where the money is going to come, but we hope so. And if you take the education expenditure, the percentage of GDP of the top countries in the world, if you take a USA, they invest nearly 6.2% of their GDP in education. That is why USA is on the top. And countries in European Union, most of the countries in European Union, they invest around 4.6% of their GDP for education. Remember that. And coming to Japan, it is more than 3%. They invest for their education. In China, it is more than 4% of their GDP. And the Chinese education system is well known now. Now, Australia, it is near to USA, not less than 5.27%. Coming to India, it is just 2.9 or 3%. See the comparison. And most of the countries, they are investing more resources for education. That is why they are able to make a quality education, and which will be a base for the national development. Now, coming to research and development expenditure of GDP, if you look at these developed countries, in USA, they invest not less than 2.7%, approximately 3% of their GDP exclusively for research and development. Remember that. They invest huge amount, not less than 3.3% of their GDP for research and development. Coming to countries of European Union, they invest nearly 2.12% exclusively for research. That's the point. Coming to Japan, remember the figure, 3.5% of their GDP is invested for research alone. Coming to China, it is 2 point something. Coming to Australia, approximately 2%. Coming to India, see the figure, it is less than 0.5%. Less than 0.5% of the GDP is invested for research. That is why our research field is so weak, because we don't invest much resources in the field. If you look at the top top 200 universities, I am quoting 2020 ranking. only 3 higher education institutions were selected from India. That is IIT Mumbai, rank was 172. IIC, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, rank is 185. And IIT Delhi, rank is 193 out of 200, the world ranking. Only these three institutions were, identified. And see what about other universities in India. If you look at higher education in institutions in India, I am quoting 2020 figures. We have got not less than 402 state universities and 334 private universities. Then comes institutes of national importance, 155, deemed to be universities, 126, central universities, 50, institute of state legislature, 7. So according to 2020 figures, now the number will be higher. At that time, if you got 2020, the total number is 1,074 higher education institutions in India. And we have got now over 4,000 colleges and around 37 million students are there in the higher education system, one of the biggest higher education system in the world. And now world ranking 2020 shows certain parameters. What about the academic reputation of the organization? How many organizations in India are well known for their academic reputation? Just 3. Then employer reputation, the teachers working, their quality, their performance, and their contributions in research. That is also important when we talk about higher education and research. Third is faculty-student ratio. These are some of the parameters taken into consideration. And we need to think about it. We need to improve these parameters in our higher education institutions. Then came to research citation per faculty, international faculty and international students per faculty. These are some of the concerns. And it is high time for us to think about those things and think about improving the quality. Now, some of the major organizations are doing research in India. Maybe Ministry of Education, they are supporting research. Then NCRT at national level, SRTs at state level. Then the state education departments are also doing some research. Then the NEPA, like that CMAT. Then the ICSSR, a national body, they are focusing on social science. Then NCT, they don't conduct a research at present, but we hope so. Then the universities and departments, then the colleges, institutions of national importance, and some of the NGOs. These are the major agencies working in the field of research in our country. Now we need to improve the quality. There is something very important to improve the quality of education. Now more resources are needed to strengthen the research, quality-wise and quantity-wise. Quality manpower to be focused. The quality of the people, the professors, the teachers, definitely that is to improve. The infrastructure facilities, we need money, we need more resources to improve the facilities. Then major focus on education research, because all of us are working in the field of education. These are some of the suggestions I would like to share with the team. Now, thank you very much for your patient listening. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation of Dr. K.S. Pillai's achievements and his journey. And similarly, we have got so much to learn from the research insights that you have given. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful presentation. We are highly indebted, sir.
Thank you.
And we'll now move on. Thank you, sir. We'll now move on to the Dr. D.R. Vij Memorial Lecture. We have with us Madam Rashmi Kurana. Madam has joined us from England. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome to the college. We have also heard a lot about you. Got an opportunity to meet with sir also. कई बार कॉलेज में वो आते थे और उनके साथ मेरे को लगता है हमने अपनी टीचिंग के काफी इनिशियल लेसन सर से लिए शायद. तो उनकी वो जो कविताएं और गाने उनके साथ बहुत गुनगुनाए, जब वो सबको खड़ा करके सबको गवाते थे साथ और अपनी वही टीचर्स की पूरी वो कहते हैं ना जो वो इनेक्ट करके और वो रोल प्ले करके और वो सारी की सारी चीजें. और पता चला कि आपने तो सर को बहुत पास से देखा है रश्मि मैम ने और साथ रहने का मौका मिला. तो अर्नेस्ट वेलकम मैडम आपका कॉलेज में, कॉन्फ्रेंस में. और मैम के बारे में छोटी सी एक ब्रीफ इंट्रोडक्शन मैं देना चाहूंगी. मैडम मेंबर हैं CTEF के, बहुत सालों से डीलिट हैं. मैडम इज फॉर्मर असिस्टेंट स्टेशन डायरेक्टर ऑल इंडिया रेडियो. Madam was planner there, presenter of all various programs. She was resource person to various UGC, UNESCO, international and national seminars. Madam is author of 13 literary books in Hindi, English and Punjabi. Ma'am, that is a great feat, great achievement, right? So many wonderful books and such a wonderful experience at a radio station and director has been a director. So we really welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much from joining from such a long distance from England at odd hours. Thank you so much and welcome. And over to you, ma'am, for Dr. D.R. Vij lecture.
Jai Hind. And very good morning to all of you. Good noon to all of you. But it's morning here, and right, it's 6:14 a.m. in the morning. I'm in Western England talking to you. My namaskar to the most respected. Are you listening? I am audible. Hello.
Well, ma'am. Yes, absolutely, ma'am. You're audible. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I pay my respects, my regard, my namaskar to Dr. S.P. Khanna ji, Dr. Bhandarkar, Dr. Satinder Dhillon, Dr. Nilima Bhagwati, Dr. Khushvinder Kumar ji, Dr. Pargat Singh Garcha ji, respected Nirmal Singh Dhillon ji, and Madam Agnes ji, the principal, and you, madam, who are conducting so nicely, and all the distinguished personalities present here, staff and students. Thank you very much to give me this opportunity to be a part of this event and to be with my CTE family again, once again, which is now CTEF. Now, for this Dr. D.R. Vij Memorial Lecture, I am deep down the memory lane. Dr. D.R. Vij, the activist of human rights education, who was started by Dr. Gulab Chaurasia, and he was his right hand. Later, Dr. Vij carried this legacy and became the national president of CTEF, and rest remains a story. I think, as you have already said, madam, that everybody knows him much more. I need not mention what was his qualification, what were his achievements, what he did, what not. Actually, he was a true human being and human and humane. And I will talk something personal, something about his human aspect, which I have witnessed, as you said already. He was not a human being of flesh and blood. He was a fragrance which cannot be held in one's hand. So he could not be claimed by anyone as mine. When I met him for the first time, and then after some time he came close to my family, I thought he is ours only. His attention, his love, his concern was for us only. And what happened one day? Some other family came to our house to meet Vij uncle. This family was very close to him also. Before his retirement, he had shifted to their house just to be self-dependent, as he thought that after retirement, he won't be able to get any servant, any PA, or any other help. So he just practiced himself for that. And like this, he came close to that landlord family. And you know this world is desperate for true love. And so he loved the family and the family served him, vice versa. It was my immaturity to feel bad when I saw them meeting so closely to Vij uncle, because I thought he's ours only, he's mine only. This is a confession, I tell you. Uncle was frank enough and was meeting them like anything. He hardly felt any hesitation that this is a man and this is a woman. For him, love was a true love for all. He had enough love to give, equal to all. He himself was above this word jealousy. He could love even his own critics. I sometimes used to point out, why, uncle? Why you are showering so much love to that a particular person I name? The other day I saw him, I listened him criticizing you or ignoring you. But his simple, deep smile was unable to understand what I was saying. Many a times when our family was out with him, we noticed him interacting with so many people. I wondered how so many people can love the same person, the single person, in the same way. But gradually, things came before me. I came to understand what he was. He was a sort of magician. What power he had, I wonder, that certain feelings like hesitation, jealousy, ifs and buts all vanished when one was in front of Dr. D.R. Vij. Only I could see people bowing and touching his feet. He was a loved person by one and all, by all generations. His most lovable students were retired principals, doctors, from different walks of life people, but surprisingly, he was uh, equally popular. He was among youngsters, the college students, and the little children even. And he had to smile only for everybody. No makeup, no dress up, as everybody was eager to get a photo with him, and he has to do nothing but to smile also only. And simple as ever he was, he remained like that till his last breath. I was working in a media. I had my own vision and observations. I asked Uncle, what is it? What is it in you? How it was? His simple reply was, Dil se, by heart. I bless a person, Dil se. I shower my love, Dil se. I help somebody, Dil se. I promote somebody, Dil se. This was a lesson to me. And he said that when you help somebody, Dil se, in return, you get everything. If you are selfless, you will get in return the same way, the same feelings. These were his precious words. His circle and fans were to the limit of sky, from a rickshaw puller, a vegetable seller, to the big dignitaries. He was the same Dr. Vij. His role was to keep himself equipped with latest knowledge, always giving new shape and stuff to his lectures, accepting new challenges of the knowledge, even technology. Truly like a beginner, learner, a sincere student he was, understanding the mind of a child, a youth, a woman, a man, administrator, etc. I was fortunate enough to discuss the things with him openly, and without any fear, I could share my opinion with him. His love had given me the courage to speak out the truth. I could dare to contradict him sometimes. Sometimes he deliberately involved me in discussions. I too was a learner, and still I am. I'm also a keen observer, so I could give him my true opinion at certain moments. I learned from him the strength of truth and knowledge, the power of love and personal touch. I tried to follow him, living with him as a family, and the nearness gave me the clarity of thought for life, and in real words, the strength of life. The time I had faced later on was all I could face because the strength which he gave me, the lesson I got from him actually, that helped me. But one day, I shared, a young man expressed his love in his own way, and I think that summed up everything. He was delivering his lecture somewhere in some uh, session, and from the audience stood a young man He was overwhelmed with emotions listening to his lecture. He stood up. He must be some young lecturer. He stood up and said in Punjabi, most of us understand. He said, Dr. Vij, ji karda hai tera kut par lwa. Dr. Vij, I wish to take us, I wish to take you in one sip. I think that was enough. Tera kut par lwa. Nothing more could be said, I think. It was his own written couplet. खुद को देखा करो दिखाया करो ऐब औरों की न गिनाया करो सारी दुनिया से मिलते रहते हो हाथ अपने से भी मिलाया करो. And this was his routine. He used to write down, and all the day long, he kept on humming these words. He kept on applying different shares at different places in his daily routine also. In his home, घर में भी ऐसे ही करते रहते थे. He kept a child alive in his soul. हम नहीं कर पाते ना रोजाना जिंदगी में. ਅਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਖਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈच्योर ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਮੈच्योर ਹੋ ਗਏ ਆ. But he never wanted to be a mature person. This was his maturity, not to be mature, not to pretend to be mature. He kept a child alive in his soul. He used to jump up, clap, and laugh like a child, which we hesitate. शर्म आती है ना वैसे करने में. हम कोई बच्चे थोड़ी ना है. हम ये कहते हैं. But he used to say, no, I'm a child. So whenever he came across any good presentation, he used to laugh, he used to clap, and tears rolled down his eyes when he saw some excellent performance or listened to some heart-touching dialogue. In some very good functions, I saw him wiping his tears with his handkerchief, which he never forgot to carry, because he knew that he cannot resist himself. Dr. D.R. Vij, his life is a message. The world of knowledge and education in which he was, he gave all to us in his own way. His motive behind it, all his action was to convey us so many different things. On the pattern of Knit India, he knit CTE. I witnessed that on phone only. Hello Nilima ji, hello Khanna Sahab, hello S.T. Singh ji. Are you doing this? Kanchan ji, what about your function? This way, he contacted everybody, not bothering about his expenditure. Kitna bill aata tha, I can't tell you us samay. Direct calls karte the. And then ignoring his own health. Because he said he got worried about the state of affairs in teacher education, ignoring his own health. He was worried about that. And he never forgot anybody. And he never forgot, I wondered how he remembered the names of the person. जिससे मिलकर आते थे, दोबारा उसको नाम लेके ही पुकारते थे. There were certain personality traits, certain qualities we should all imitate, and we all should learn how he was different. He was a different person. In 2009, when he was elevated as National President of CTE, which is now CTEF, his involvement in the organization cannot be told. You all know perhaps, because जो भी उनको एक बार मिल लेता था, कभी भूल नहीं पाता था. Never say never to any challenge. This was his motto. Don't say no. No problem attitude in life was his key to success. Although his life was never bed of roses, but he always stood by the situation to solve the problem. तुझे खूबसूरत बनाया है खुदा ने, तो दुनिया को दिलकश बनाता चल. This was his own written couplet. तुझे खूबसूरत बनाया खुदा ने, तो दुनिया को दिलकश बनाता चल. And he remained always in hunt for and keen to add new dimensions to the field of education. ये नहीं कि पीछे ही जो पढ़ाया है मक्खी पे मक्खी मारते रहे. He always wanted to add something new. His commitment, उसकी तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. No example can be given, I think. Just I remember, जैसे इस समय बहुत सर्दी है यहाँ पर, इसी तरह की बहुत सर्दियां थी. I think I should continue in Hindi for this anecdote, or Punjabi, as you said. Punjabi or Hindi? Hello, am I audible?
हिंदी
हाँ
हिंदी
जी
में बताइए, हिंदी में बताइए, ज्यादा समझ आएगा. हाँ.
Preferably Hindi, madam, preferably Hindi.
Staff academic college में lecture चल रहा था, session चल रहा था, and it was his lecture that day. He was to reach Shimla, and the weather was so cold. All the news bulletins told that it was heavy snowfall in Shimla. पर डॉक्टर विच कहाँ रुकने वाले थे. बहुत कहा अंकल देख लीजिए, पहले फोन कर लीजिए, कोई पार्टिसिपेंट आ भी पाएगा या नहीं. नहीं बेटा, मुझे तो कमिटमेंट है, मेरी कमिटमेंट है तो मुझको जाना है. चलो बस में बैठ गए. शिमला की बस चल पड़ी. आधी रास्ते में ही जाके कौन से स्टेशन पे बस ने जवाब दे दिया, उतर जाओ सब सवारियां, ये आगे नहीं जा सकती. डॉक्टर विज उतरे, जल्दी से एक टैक्सी हायर कर ली. पैसे तो कोई परवाह नहीं ना थी, फेंकते थे. टैक्सी में बैठ गए. चलो भाई, थोड़ा सा 100 किलोमीटर चले, टैक्सी वाला भी फंस गया बर्फ के अंदर. चल रही थी टैक्सी. उसने कहा बाबूजी मैं आगे नहीं जा सकता, आई कैन नॉट टेक यू अप टिल योर मंजिल. उतर गए वहां से. फिर होना क्या था, किसी तरह वहां रात गुजारते और इंतजार करते या वापस आते. जनाब पैदल चल दिए. आई कांट टेल यू के तकरीबन 150 किलोमीटर वो पैदल चले हैं और डेस्टिनेशन पे पहुंचे हैं. जब डेस्टिनेशन पे गए और वहां जाके ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को फोन किया, उन्होंने कहा महाराज ठहर जाइए होटल में, क्योंकि यहाँ तो कोई पार्टिसिपेंट आया ही नहीं. बट ही हैड नो रिग्रेट्स फॉर ऑल दिस थिंग. ही कंटिन्यूड बीइंग लाइक दैट. ही डिडंट से कि नहीं मैंने गलत किया. वो कहते ऐसा ही करना था और ऐसा ही करना है मुझे. I said he was different. And this is known to you all, not to me only. Yes, of course, I can share, and I'm sharing some very personal things. In his words, learning is the process of creating knowledge by making sense of your experience. Along with his self-confidence, Dr. Vich throughout his life remained a perpetual, excited learner. He could take his knowledge from the classroom to the industries to police officers training center and other sectors of life. In his own words, नजर वाले अंधेरे का कभी शिकवा नहीं करते. नजर वाले अंधेरे का कभी शिकवा नहीं करते. नजर वाले अंधेरे में उजाला देख लेते. I found his notebook of couplets some couplets and ghazals which were unsung yet. I found it in his room, and normally he used to write in Urdu, Persian, but that he was trying to write in Hindi. Perhaps इसलिए कि उसको आसानी से पढ़ सके बाद में. I will try to compile all this in the biography which is in process. I'm writing, and I hope I will be able to dedicate this and present before you among all you. Today's themes, which you all have discussed, were all of his taste and motives. That is the self-directed learning, de-schooling, competency-based learning, all conducted and guided by the worthy scholars, fulfill the purpose of CTEF. Dr. P.R. Vij has not taught me, you, or somebody else in classrooms only. He has given us lessons of strength and life skills for life forever. The best and sincere way to remember him is his motto, excellence has no limit, as he used to depict this in a share which most of you earlier have listened. है जुस्तजू के खूब से है खूबतर कहाँ, है जुस्तजू के खूब से है खूबतर कहाँ, अब ठहरती है देखिए जाकर नजर कहाँ. Whenever we are, wherever we are, and wherever I am, but we all will remain deeply involved in the progress of CTEF. This is the biggest Shraddhanjali we can give to Dr. D.R. Vij by remaining one, united and knit like he always dreamed. It was his dream that we all should remain like this. His favorite, and one thing more, remember that Dr. D.R. Vij is always with us, and not only he is always with us, he is within us. हमारे अंदर है वो. उनको सच्ची श्रद्धांजलि यही है कि उनके बारे में महसूस करते हुए आज हम उनको महसूस करें कि वो क्या हैं. आज मेरे लिए अगर ये आप पॉसिबल ना भी होता, मैं मीटिंग थोड़ी लेट ज्वाइन करूं, तो मुझे रात को 1:30 बजे भी ज्वाइन करनी थी अगर मैं डॉक्टर विज को सच्चे रूप में प्यार करती हूं तो. एंड इन हिज ओन वर्ड्स, एंड इट वाज हिज फेवरेट कपलेट, कि उस जगह जाओ जहां पर पानी की किल्लत है, जहां जरूरत है. वो कहते थे बादल हो तो बरसो किसी बेआब ज़मीं पर, जहां पानी नहीं है वहां जाके बरस जाओ. बादल हो तो बरसो किसी बेआब ज़मीं पर, और खुशबू हो अगर तुम तो बिखर क्यों नहीं जाते. जैसे बाबे नानक ने कहा, उजड़ जाओ. चंगी लोकां नू किया उन्होंने कि उजड़ जाओ. ऐसे ही वो कहते हैं कि खुशबू हो अगर तुम तो बिखर क्यों नहीं जाते. Let us all spread love, happiness, knowledge, and human values to all by remembering that great soul. Namaskar and thank you to all of you.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम. ये जो खुशबू आपने दिखाई है, इसके लिए शब्द कहाँ से लाए उसका थैंक्स करने के लिए कि एक एक शब्द वी वर फेल्ट लाइक हैंगिंग टू ईच वर्ड यू वर सेइंग, एंड वी कुड सी डॉक्टर विज इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस, जैसे वो बोलते थे, जैसे वो कहते थे. और एक एक शब्द मेरे ख्याल से शायद आपने कुछ मिस ही नहीं किया. उन्होंने जितना कुछ कहा, कैसे वो करते थे और किस तरह की टीचिंग्स. और सिर्फ आपने ही नहीं सर, मैं ये खुशविंदर सर को और सब लोगों को, इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को और ये मेमोरल लेक्चर्स को खास करके ये खास दिन बनाने के लिए कि इस सारे प्रोसेस में से हमने जो लर्न किया, लोगों के बारे में तो जो आपने कहा वो हमने सुना और समझा है ही है. प्लस आप चारों ने, डॉक्टर यूसोसी गोहा, भंडारकर सर, रेघु सर और श्री खुराना मैम, आप सबने जिस तरह से ये प्रेजेंटेशंस दी हैं, ये भी हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ी लर्निंग है और जिसको हम चाहेंगे कि हमारे अंदर रहे और हमारे साथ रहे, ताकि आने वाले समय में हमें भी समझ हो कि आपने जितने सुंदर तरीके से उन सबकी, उन अचीवमेंट्स को, उन बातों को, उस प्रोसेस को, उन सारी की सारी जर्नीज को इतने सुंदर तरीके से, जैसे एक ब्रश लेके एक सुंदर तस्वीरें हमारे सामने बना दी हैं कि हम चाहेंगे कि हमारे साथ ये तस्वीरें हमेशा रहें और हम इनमें से लर्निंग्स लेते रहें. Thank you so much everyone for this wonderful presentation.
Charanjit, I would like to take just 1 minute for one
Sure sir,
minute,
sure sir.
with my gratitude and gratefulness to Madam Rashmi Khurana. I would like to inform all the participants and all the state chapters that Madam Khurana is trying to publish a book on Professor D.R. Vij. Hopefully by next year, that book will be in print form and will be circulated in the soft copy also for all the states. I wish all the best for Madam Khurana, and thank you very much, Madam Rashmi Khurana. It was really rejoice to listen to you and remembering Dr. D.R.
It's my honor. It's my honor, and I will try my best. Rather, is saal hi I will try to publish it, and as I have promised you, I will release it in your college, in Modi College, Patiala, of course, but it will be given to everybody. And I don't think, Dr. Khushwinder, I will keep any price of that book on that book. No, it will be from my side.
Rashmi ji, It was really a wonderful one. You simply brought tears to my eyes today.
My
I
honor,
cried.
madam.
I cried. I
God bless.
cried. I cried today. You know, his face came in front of me.
Madam, it's
That's
all your
namaskar to the great soul.
Thank you so much, everyone.
I will
Now,
try, madam, to keep Dr. Vij and this CTEF alive in UK also. I will try. I will give you some names and we will try to open this chapter here also. I'll try.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. And
Yes, ma'am.
CT Punjab stands with you for this publication. Thank you.
मैडम मेरा आर्टिकल रह गया था, मैं भेजूंगा 8 दिन के अंदर.
Please. Thank you very much. Actually, वो जो मैं उनकी बायोग्राफी लिख रही हूँ, मेरा तो थोड़ा सा ही उसमें है. Actually, it's by all of you और आपकी कॉपरेशन से ही बननी है. And I remember you, all of you. I tell you कि the biggest एहसान कहें या उनका प्यार कहें जो उन्होंने मेरे प्यार के बदले मुझे दिया है, वो ये है कि वो मुझे आप सबके साथ जोड़ के गए हैं. And this was his personality trait कि वो दो लोगों को जोड़ते थे. तो मुझे जबरदस्ती जो लेकर जाते थे या कहीं, तो वो पता नहीं मेरे फ्यूचर का क्या उनको पता था, पर आप सबके साथ जुड़ने के बाद मुझे कभी लगता नहीं कि that I am alone now. I never feel this. I feel I have a family behind me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. To conduct the valedictory session, I would now like to invite Dr. Nehru Malik, Associate Professor, Dev Samaj College of Education, to conduct the valedictory session. Over to you, Dr. Nehru Malik.
A very good afternoon to all present. So thank you so much to all the dignitaries. मैम, इतना सुनने के बाद ये जरूर महसूस हो रहा है कि अगर आज हम सभी बैठे हैं तो वो किसी ना किसी ऐसे टीचर की रिफ्लेक्शन है कि जिन्होंने हमारे मन पर एक ऐसा इंप्रेशन छोड़ा है कि जहाँ पे हमने शायद क्लासरूम में बैठे डिसाइड कर लिया था कि हमें भी टीचर बनना है. तो वैलेडिक्टरी सेशन स्टार्ट करने से पहले अगर नीलिमा मैम मुझे परमिशन दें तो अपने गुरुजन, अपने माता पिता और अपने हस्बैंड, भाई बहनों के लिए कुछ शब्द लिखे हैं कि जो टीचर के रूप में उन्होंने हमारा जो जीवन सुधारा है, जीवन शेप किया है. मैंने स्वयं रचित ये मेरी कविता है मैम, ये सभी आप सभी को समर्पित. इसके शब्द जाते हैं. मेरे जीवन की माला का हर मोती सर्वव्यापक है, शब्दों में बयां नहीं हो सकता, वो मेरा अध्यापक है. छुपा हुनर था कुछ मेरे में, क्या खूब उन्होंने पहचाना था. पढ़ने के साथ क्या करना है मुझे, क्या खूब उन्होंने बतलाना था. देखो दोनों के कर्मों ने कितना मुझे सिखला दिया. पढ़ने पढ़ाने की क्रिया ने मुझे खुद को अध्यापक बना दिया, मुझे खुद को अध्यापक बना दिया. मेरे जहन में जो है छाप, मेरे जहन में जो है छाप, माननीय योग अध्यापक वो है आप. आपको मेरा शत शत प्रणाम, आपको मेरा शत शत प्रणाम. This is a tribute to all the dignitaries, to all the personalities who have contributed wholeheartedly in making the teachings impressionful, as well as to the CTEF members, all the presidents and the secretaries, especially to Ma'am Nilima. जैसे हम कल से देख रहे हैं, since morning to till evening and now since morning of day 2, भंडारकर सर के इम्प्रेशंस है, गुहा मैम के इम्प्रेशंस है, नीलिमा मैम के इम्प्रेशंस, रश्मि मैम के इम्प्रेशंस, एक स्पेशली अर्चना मैम जिन्होंने मॉर्निंग से हर सेशन को एंजॉय किया. तो वो ऐसा लग रहा था देयर वाज अ कनेक्ट इवन थ्रू वर्चुअल मोड. वी आर कनेक्टेड सो ब्यूटीफुली. वी नाउ विल टू स्टार्ट विद इट इज privilege of all mine on behalf of organizing committee to introduce amongst you all two such personalities which are present with us, Madam Professor Nilima Bhagwati and Professor B.S. Ghuman sir. I will take the opportunity to present a brief introduction of these two eminent personalities from the field of education. To start with, I would like to start with Madam Nilima Bhagwati's introduction. Professor Nilima Bhagwati, an emeritus professor from Guwahati University, who got her superannuation in the year 2015. Presently, Madam is the chairman of NCTE ERC, chairman of National Focus Group NEP 2020, Guidance and Counseling in School Education. Madam is the recipient of National Award for her great contribution in the field of education and research, Commonwealth Fellow Award in 2006, National Best Teacher Educator Award, and CTEF Kerala Chapter's Best Emeritus Teacher Educator Award presented in 2019. Madam has to her credit of presentations of 25 papers at international conferences, national publications of 25 international papers, national papers 37, journal publications 32, international conference paper presented 25, 55 presentations of papers at national level. Madam has successfully completed 4 research major projects, and under her supervision, 40 research scholars have been awarded with the PhD degree. Madam is a invitee speaker to 6 different countries and Director of Asian Region of Commonwealth Council for Educational Administration and Management and International Secretary General of CTEF. Madam is the Director of Education Support Society Assam, Director, Student Wellness Society Assam, NCTE ERC member, associated with NAC. Madam is Executive Member of Bharatiya Siksha Mandal, Executive Board Member of Indira Gandhi National Center of Arts, Adolescents, Parents and Parents Counselor. Madam has completed 3,500 adolescent learner counseling, a teacher, trainer, and of Let's Goodwill mission of to 6 countries. Ma'am, we are delighted for your presence in this webinar, and you are performing all the duties. You are the pioneer and you are the pillar of strength for the conduct of this webinar through this virtual mode. Thank you very much, ma'am. Further, to proceed with, I would like to introduce amongst you all Professor B.S. Ghuman, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਹਰਮਨ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਘੁੰਮਣ ਸਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਸਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਸਦੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਮੁਸਕਰਾਉਂਦੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਔਰ ਬੜੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹਾਰਡ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਟੈਕਟਫੁਲੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕਲੀ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਦੇਖਿਆ। And apart from this, very closely we have seen performing yoga during 1 month yoga camp. And sir was very, serious कि मेरा जरा posture है, वो किन्ना किस level किस limitation ते जांदा है, ते how these portion can be beneficial even if I will be performing all alone. और सर मुझे लगता है कि जो वो learning है वो pandemic में हमें बहुत काम आई है। Professor B.S. Ghuman sir was born on 15 June 1954 at village Alkawaz near Lehragaga and did his early schooling from the village. Sir is a graduated from Shahid Uddham Singh Government College, Sunam, and did his master's in public administration from Punjab University, Patiala. MPhil and PhD has been completed from Guru Nanak Dev University in the year 1979 and 1985 respectively. Professor Ghuman sir has several notable academic positions. Sir has served as a professor of public administration at Punjab University for 38 long years and editor of many renowned research journals and published 73 papers and 3 books to his credit. Sir is also a member of academic bodies of various universities, and beside this, sir was also a member of the 5th Pay Commission, Punjab from 2007 to 2009 and Punjab Governance Reform Commission. Sir has to his credit to be the recipient of many awards and honors, and Sir is internationally renowned researcher and has recently received Paul H. Applicable Award for contribution in the field of public administration and also a recipient of many other awards. Sir has been appointed as the Vice Chancellor of Punjabi University Patiala, and under his dynamic leadership, his main aim was the overall development of the university and to carry out various initiatives such as improving research standards in the university, starting the new academic programs and specialized centers. Sir has also been a pioneer and mediator for signing MOUs with foreigner universities, securing increased grant from Punjab government and MHRD, besides curbing wasteful expenditure. Sir has taken many initiatives to uplift the university in all spheres. University now has been growing by leap and bounds under Sir's able guidance, and due to his excellence work, Sir has been also granted another 3 years to serve the Punjab University. Sir, we know you that you are a person with a head and heart, and you are ever onward ready to serve the education and to enlighten the academicians. Now, I request Madam Dr. Nilima Bhagwati, an International Secretary General of CTEF, to please put remarks on the conference.
May I know how much time I'm given?
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Madam, you can take 15 to 20 minutes.
No, I'll just take shorter time because we'd like to hear. Namaste to all. Respected Professor B.S. Gurman, former VC Punjabi University, Patiala, who is the president of today's valedictory function of CTA's annual 35th conference. Principal, the Samaj College of Education, Dr. Dhilu Ma'am, the National President of CTEF, Dr. K.M. Vindarkarji, the Chairman of CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh chapter, Dr. Krisvinder Kumar, the National Office Bearers of CTEF, the CTEF State Bearers of Punjab and Chandigarh chapter, the faculty members of Samaj College of Education, Chandigarh, the entire CTEF Parivar from north to south, east to west, and overseas chapters. Ladies and gentlemen, Supravat to all. The morning today, really, it was very divine. The song, it is still ringing in my ears. It made the ambience so divine and so soulful. Indeed, it was the beginning of a positive day. Let me take the privilege today. I already became very emotional. I don't know, usually this never takes place, but the presentation of, Rashmi's, whatever she said, and Ushashi Guha, it made me, my tears roll down unknowingly, because I remember they're so close, not only to CF, to my family members. Dr. Viz used to come and stay here when he comes to Guwahati. And all the memories, it just lingered at and I became emotional. Sorry for that. I had to close the video for some time. I take the privilege to offer floral tribute to all the great stalwarts of CTEF, the founder president, Dr. Gulab Charosia, our national past president, Dr. Devraj Vij, and all who were very much dedicated in the beginning to establish CTEF. First of all, I thought that the memorial lectures will be, was said in a very short time that we have to present a memorial lectures. First, we thought of 1-day seminar, then with the suggestion of Satinder Dilozi, she gave a very wise suggestion. She said that we cannot do away with the memorial lectures. They must be a part of this conference. So therefore, within the short time, they presented and the presenters were approached so beautifully they have presented all of them. I'm grateful to all of you and thankful to all of you. CTEF, Punjab and Chandigarh, in collaboration with Dev Samaj College of Education, has organized, and you all have seen how wonderfully, how meticulously, since the inaugural session till now, it is going on so well. It's a real happiness for all the CTEF family members. And I have seen that all the faculty members of the Dev Samaj College and the chapter members of Punjab and Chandigarh, they are dedicatedly working day and night for, I think, around about 2 weeks to make this annual conference successful. I am grateful to all of you. In my brief presentation, I will just sum up a little bit about CTEF, an organization which is very beloved to all of us, to the entire family. As you know, and it was already said by my friend Ushashi Guha, that the seed of CTE, that is was earlier known, Council for Teacher Education, was sown by Dr. Gulab Chaurasia, his brainchild, his dream child, as we call it. And he was assisted by some stalwarts, like you heard about J.P. Nayak from the south, Dr. Hidekar, K.S. Pillai, Dr. Vij, Surendranath Dubey, and Dr. Rajput. They all assisted Chaurasia ji to sow this seed. And I'm happy to tell you that the seed sown, I said the same thing yesterday also, it has grown into a huge banyan tree now with their divine blessings. We have branches, and it is a mature adult organization, 35 years old. After a few years, we are going to celebrate the Golden Jubilee. So during all these years, the Indian chapters, and from 2009, the overseas chapters came, we all are working with the mission and vision, which was designed by Dr. Chaurasia and the stalwarts. Each and every chapter, all the members of the chapters, they fully understand and aware how to serve the country through the teaching community. Therefore, the prime objective of developing teachers, and I remember one word, 21st century skill, which Chaurasia sir used to say earlier, that we have to now think about how the teachers will be in 21st century. And he was so right about it. So all the chapters are working now with various teacher development programs and other associated programs, even publication of reading materials and publication of textbooks, etc. It is a great achievement during this 35 years of CTEF. I feel proud and I feel nostalgic when I think that the teacher exchange program of CTEF, it was first introduced by Dr. Devraj Vij. I remember it was in Guwahati, this program he chalked out. After coming back from Nagaland, we went to Nagaland, and SD Singh was there. He said, Nilima, why don't you think of teacher exchange program? I think our teachers need exposures. Yes. And immediately it was translated into reality. And a batch of teachers, 11, if I'm not mistaken, 11 teachers, we went to Punjab, and Punjab was the host. And they kept us for 7 days, and Dr. Vij was the leader. We visited the different institutions, met the people, interacted with teachers, interacted with the community in the villages. It was an unforgettable, we can never forget the experience we gathered in Punjab. Punjab is always very colorful, very active, and we became more active and more colorful during our stay over there and gathered the knowledge. So this kind of activities, it came to the minds of all our stalwarts earlier, and we are continuing it. We are taking it ahead, and we are thinking that we have to keep working. We have to keep hard working, so that whatever they dreamt, whatever they thought, whatever was in their heart and mind, we must keep it always, very exposed to all the people in the country. We have to keep on working. Friends, therefore, I feel that CTEF, it is the leading organization in the country and a huge paribar. We have more than, I have counted, we have more than 10,500 family members. This 10,500 family members is one family. And this concept, Dr. Shashi, she said in her, this I learned from Dr. Charosia. He used to say, keep CTS Paribar always. And this Paribar said very cohesive, very united, thinking together in the same line and doing work very collaboratively and with great passion, whatever they do. Once I remember, and I'm also blessed that the institution where he did his PhD, Columbia University, Dr. Charosia, I got the opportunity to do my postdoctoral over there in Columbia University in teachers education. So once he came, it was in 2002, we had a conference in, I'm just remembering, we had a conference in Guwahati, blending education, science and spirituality, international conference. He was there. Then he said, again, the same thing, teacher. And for 2 hours in my residence, he only talked about teachers in the evening, how we have to build the teachers. So this is now our dream. He talked of IES, that was also referred, Indian Administrative Service. He said, this is one dream you have to all materialize. My friends, definitely, I promise on this day that till I am here in CTEF, I'll definitely try my best with all my colleagues to materialize the dream of Charosia sir. Indian Education Service, we have Medical Health Service, why not IES, Indian Education Service? Definitely we'll be able to do so. But I need all the cooperation, all the support, which obviously I know you will give me, so that we can place the achievement in the chart of CTEF. I will not take long. If I talk about CTEF, it will go on and on. But during these 2 days, wonderful, including today, we really heard the wonderful speakers. We were blessed to know, to hear Professor B.S. Rajput, former Vice Chancellor, HNB Garhwal University. He was the keynote speaker. He presented an excellent keynote address, but couldn't continue for some time due to the disconnection of the net. But I do hope and even the organizers will contact him to get the script of his presentation, which we can, or I can from the Secretariat, mail to each and every chapter. That was an excellent beginning, which he did. Another 2 discussion sessions were there. One was on self-directed learning, deschooling, and the resource person was Dr. Sandhya Milind Kitekar, Principal Gokhale Education Society, College from Maharashtra. That was really an eye-opener, the importance of deschooling. Even some of the things I never knew, I learned from her presentation. That was great. The second session of yesterday's another presentation was there, that is competency-based learning. And that too, Professor Arvind Kumar Jha from School of Education, IGNOU, New Delhi. It was excellent, I should say. Excellent. What is competent? What competency means? Everything was explained in detail, and how a teacher can be a competent teacher. That was really great. Then we had a participatory discussion for the first time in the agenda. I have seen in CTEF participatory. We had all the youngsters, all the young ones in the discussion. There were Jignesh B. Patel, he's from Gujarat. We had Professor S.C. Pachauri from Dehradun, and we couldn't hear Deepak Bhagat, though his name was there. They also gave excellent presentation on that. And later on, after that, we had the NBM as usual, we have it. And today we started the day, as I told you, with a divine fragrance. It's very soulful morning, and we're continuing now. And after some time, maybe we will just get separated from the virtual platform, but will remain in contact always. We'll remain in contact with each other. And I promise you, the organizers in front of me, Charanjit Kaur, Nehru Malik, sometimes maybe you'll think that why ma'am is just calling me. I'll just call you hello to say hello. How is your family? That is what I will ask. Nothing much. This is what I do, and doing practically more in pandemic. How are you all? So this will continue. I would not like to take long. This is just a small presentation I have given. And now we are waiting to hear Professor B.S. Thoman, former BC Punjabi. He will give us more mental food now to think ourselves more insightful way we can think. And definitely we are waiting to hear him. With these words, I thank all the memorial lecture presenters in the morning, 4 of them, the excellent presentation. I thank particularly the young singer, I should say the singer, she's got an excellent voice. She sang so beautifully. And that was also very heart-touching, the song. Each and every word was very heart-touching. And now we are coming to the last part of today's valedictory session. That is, we have already started. And my regards, my respect, my love to all of you. And may we always remain united. May we always remain one, so that CTEF we can place in the world map. This is the ultimate dream, to place CTEF in the world map. With these words, I thank you. Namaste again. Over to Kaur. I think, yeah, Nehru Malik. Over to Nehru Malik.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nilima Bhagwati. Yes, CTEF is a worldwide tree. So, ma'am, thank you. Rather, we are thankful to all the presenters for the memorial lectures, because they took us to the journey of imagination. We can very well imagine how the personalities of Dr. Chaurasia, Nayak sir, Pillai sir, and Vij sir were. Because Vij sir we have seen very closely. He used to visit our college, and at the end of every, जो भी वो हमें एक्टिविटी सिखाते थे, to make it more informative, to make it more lively, he used to say बजाओ ताली.
Yes,
तो वो
yes.
हमेशा this used to bring. तो
Yes.
आज अगर विज सर होते वो बोलते कि CTEF ने देखो पेंडेमिक में वर्चुअल मोड के थ्रू नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस से करवाई, सेशंस सभी इतने अच्छे और इंफॉर्मेटिव थे, ये सभी के मन को भाई, सुन क्या रहे हो बैठे बैठे, मैं कह रहा हूँ बजाओ ताली.
Yes, 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 so much. He used to say, Talia. Talia kaha?
Thank you. And we could see Madam Nilima Bhagwati, she really got emotional, because when the people you are really missing, कि जिन्होंने एक वो मिसाल जो जगाई थी, but thank you so much Nilima ma'am, Bhandarkar sir, खुशविंदर sir, for आप लोग ये जो torch bearer हो, जो carry forward कर रहे हो, and you have already mentioned that yesterday in the your meeting, there were young minds, those who were contributed to the fullest. So it means this generation is very well ready and making the further generations ready to keep the aim and objectives of CTEF to be lively रखने के लिए. So now for the presidential remarks, I would like to invite and request Professor V.S. Ghuman sir, former Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, Patiala.
Thank you, Dr. Nehru Malik.
Thank you, sir.
Dear Professor K.M. Bhandarkar, President CTEF, Dr. Satinder Dhillon, Vice President CTEF, Professor Nilima Bhagwati, Secretary CTEF, Dr. Ushani Goha, Dr. Rashmi Khurana ji, Dr. Khushwinder Kumar, President CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh Chapter, Dr. Agnes Dhillon, Principal Day-2 College of Education, Chandigarh, Dr. Nehru Malik, dear members of CTEF family, faculty of Day-2 College of Education, invited guests, and dear students. I feel delighted to deliver presidential address on the valedictory session of 25th Annual CTEF Conference and National Webinar on a very relevant theme, namely emerging trends in education transforming the global scenario. Being jointly organized by two premier institutions. I'm listening from yesterday. These two institutions are really premier institutions, and Day-2 College of Education is the second academic home for me. Namely CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh chapter and Day-2 College of Education Chandigarh. At the outset, I wish to thank the organizers, especially Dr. Mrs. Stender Dhillon, Dr. Khushwinder Kumar, Dr. Mrs. Agnes Dhillon, who is principal of the college, and all office bearer of CTEF for giving me the honor of presiding over the concluding session of the webinar. My special thanks to Dr. Nehru Malik for her kind and very pleasant introduction. I don't know I deserve it or not, but may God bless you, Vitaji, on this occasion. Friends, when Dr. Khushwinder Kumar approached me to preside over this function, I expressed my reservation. Reservation in the sense that I'm not from the core discipline of education, but he convinced me through a logic, and that's why I'm here today. But I thought that to preside over the concluding session, that too in the field of education, I should be familiar with the proceedings of the webinar. And hence, I decided to listen to the proceedings of the webinar. And I listened to yesterday, especially the technical sessions. And that's why I may intend to make some meaningful observation if possible. After attending most of the technical functions, both the technical functions yesterday and partly panel discussion, and all the proceedings inaugural, partly because Professor B.S. Could not could not continue, but one sentence which he spoke, that all books in the universe cannot replace a teacher, is still in my mind. I mean, the beauty of a teacher, I mean, we felt elevated yesterday when he made this statement, and unfortunately, we could not continue because of connectivity problem. Now, friends, after listening to everything, and my wife also joined when I was listening to the proceeding, Professor Tyankar, Professor of Geography in the university, both of us concluded, and both of us are of the view that your status and stature as a discipline of education has improved qualitatively. And both of us also concluded that how much harm we are doing to the university and college system by working in isolation. I think yesterday, after listening to you, I mean, I will speak to those sessions as well. Now, see, after listening to you, we thought that we should work together in togetherness, because we are part of the same system. We are part of the knowledge sector. Knowledge cannot be, I will speak on this, knowledge cannot be bifurcated. We can't make artificial divisions of knowledge. Therefore, yesterday, both of us concluded that there's a need to constitute knowledge cluster of all the disciplines, including science, technology, humanity, and social sciences, so that we can contribute something towards nation building and so on and so forth. This is the the highlight of the very high profile proceedings of your webinar, that both of us concluded that it's a time that we should work together and make the nation powerful. So for knowledge as a source of development, both economic and social development is concerned. Now, friends, it's not only, there's another, Dr. Nehru Malik, there's another insight which I intend to share with you. About the resource person, about the chairperson, there's no match because they are of high standard. But Dr. Khushvinder, if you are around, see, another beauty of your webinar is the way you have divided the responsibility in a decentralized model. The way Khushvinder Kumar introduced the theme, the way one of you introduced the speaker, introduced the theme, conducted the proceeding as anchor, and proposed vote of thanks. Again, it was eye-opening for both of us. Therefore, it is an excellent model of a webinar. It's an excellent best practice. We are used to this term best practice. It's an excellent best practice to be emulated by other disciplines as and when offline or online webinars are organized. I am addressing to the teachers of education, dear teachers of education, the resource person, keynote speaker, Dr. Rajput, and chairperson, and your team which organized this webinar. To me, they are ambassador of the field of education, that they are the best ambassador. I wish that this type of, now I'm making another observation, Dr. Nilama Bhagwati, I'm making another very important observation also to Dr. Khushvinder and also to Dr. Nehru Malik. I wish this webinar, this type of webinar seminar was organized 2-3 years earlier. And I could have implemented some of the recommendations of the webinar when I was Vice Chancellor of Punjab University, Patiala. But I'm not stopping here, please. Wherever I can, I have influence. I will try to carry forward the research inputs of your webinar to influence public policy in the field of education. I don't know whether you were knowing or not. I chaired Draft Punjab School Education Policy 2020. I was the chairman of Draft Punjab State Education Policy 2020. This is submitted to the government, and government will give us time to make presentation. During that presentation, I will share most of the findings of your webinar, your seminar, so that together we can improve the quality of school education. I will take this opportunity, rather I will make optimal utilization of this opportunity, Professor Nilma, to share two things from this policy. One is what's the vision of school education policy Punjab? Very clear vision, making school education vibrant, equitable, learner friendly, and quality centric, promoting scientific temper, developing secular and democratic values among students as enshrined in the Constitution of India, and ensuring the holistic development of students for onward journey to build Punjab as a knowledge society. This is the vision with which we have framed this policy. And there are 4 or 5 objectives, because you are my best audience to convey this, because you have to implement the recommendations of this policy. Now, the objectives were: 1, making education accessible to all, inclusive education, ensuring equity and inclusiveness in education, improving the quality of education. We suffer like anything, you will agree, from primary, secondary, and tertiary at all levels. Strengthening language education. We are divana of English language, but our local languages do suffer in the process. Promoting skill development, we were referring to time and again in during both the days. Promoting skill development through vocational education by preparing youth for decent jobs and entrepreneurship. Because in Punjab, decent job is very important. Otherwise, the youth does not like job if it's not a decent job. That's why we are saying it should be job should be decent. Promoting ethics, very important. Yesterday we were listening to a speaker. He or she did speak about ethics, democratic and moral values through education, reforming assessment and examination system, because I think Dr. Jha spoke about it. Encouraging participation by non-profit private entities in regular manner, in a regulated manner, like Day-2 College. We need missionaries. We need those organizations which are not for profit. It's not commercialization of education is not welcomed in Punjab, so school education is concerned. Boosting liberal public investment in education. Investment, this school, colleges and universities are suffering like anything so far public investment is concerned. I'm the best example that how our institutions are suffering so far public investment is concerned, and in disguised form we are opening doors for the privatization if we are not investing in public institutions. And strengthening teacher and professional development. Dr. Nehru, in our report, we have written that teachers are the backbone of the school system, but nobody cares about this backbone. And therefore, we should strengthen so far teacher and their professional development is concerned. And finally, to take the status of this policy to the international level, attaining sustainable development goals which relate to school education. This is the way, friends, we have drafted this policy, and this policy is with the government, and we are waiting for the day when the government will invite us to make presentation. Now, let me come to the webinar. We all know, I will start with COVID-19 because that was the background about which all of the speakers spoke about. We all know about the ill effects of COVID-19 on our health, both physical and mental, and its effects on all walks of life, including institutional learning, starting from preschooling to university. All are affected so far COVID is concerned. Lockdown came suddenly, and we had to deal effectively. We were not knowing how to deal it effectively and how to deal with this new reality. I would like to share that I think one of the speakers did speak yesterday that we tried hit and trial method to deal with this situation because there was no planning. But fortunately, we at Punjab University Patiala, did visualize the possibility of lockdown by learning from the experience of other country, and hence organized capacity building program for online learning, and also set up a center for e-learning and excellence in teaching This is the way we did it, and we also created a web page on the university website titled ICT Initiative for e-learning on the university. Friend, this page has 3 components. If you want to visit, the first component is instructions for using Moodle, which is online learning platform, and then all links, internal and external, all sources, internal and external about online learning are documented, and finally some e-resources are also on the website so far e-learning is concerned. When I was listening to various speakers yesterday, as well as panel discussion partly, I come to know that all of us handle COVID situation for online learning with our own models. There was no laid on model for online learning. And this online learning, I think one of the speakers did share yesterday, has its own limitations. Then I will come to mixing of methods. This online learning, because of digital divide, suffered on account of access. That access was not universal. And then equity. Remote areas, poor student suffered. Excellence and quality. There's no there's no parameter where we can compare that during COVID we could promote excellence and quality in imparting instruction, and connectivity was another problem which we did face yesterday as well. Therefore, this COVID was a problem beyond our control. We tried to handle it so far education institutions are concerned. We partially succeeded. Partially, we could not succeed because there was some of the factors beyond our control, but we tried our best. I think I compliment my colleagues in all the university and colleges for doing a wonderful job during COVID-19 by imparting instruction to the students. Now, so far your webinar is concerned, COVID-19 also unfolded new opportunities, alternative models, particularly in the field of learning. Yesterday, we reaped the benefit of two alternative approaches. The first one was self-directed learning or deschooling, and the second one was competency-based learning. Dr. Sandhya Milan Khedkar made an excellent exposition about which Dr. Nilma also referred to, made an excellent exposition about self-directed learning or deschooling. I hope, as all of you thoroughly enjoyed her penetrating presentation, especially when she referred to D4 in consonance with fourth industrial revolution. That was most convincing part for me, that how education has moved from D1 to D4, and we have to match ourselves to that journey of education. We are far behind so far D4 is concerned, as we are far behind so far fourth industrial revolution as a nation is concerned. She referred to 9 pillars of deschooling, like augmented reality, virtual reality, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and so on, and 5 steps in self-learning. Here, Dr. Nilma, I endorse most of her findings, but with a different perspective. I'm making a departure from her stand. I am of the opinion that all the merits of deschooling be adapted to the formal school of learning, formal system of schooling, so that this mixing of approaches or triangulation in the long run can improve the quality of learning outcomes. That deschooling, perhaps, Dr. Rashmi, may not be suitable prescription for a country like India at this juncture, because we have not made education up to secondary level universal. There are many dropouts, many left out, and therefore access is not 100%. Until and unless we reach that stage, I think better proposition, better prescription is that let us imbibe the merits of deschooling and make part of the schooling system so that we can reap the benefits of that school of thought. She made another very important observation, Professor Rashmi. She made an observation that knowledge is produced out school school system also. Excellent observation, because if we have a look upon Indian heritage, Indian sources of indigenous knowledge, we are excellent so far indigenous knowledge is concerned. You will be surprised to know that the National Knowledge Commission India did recognize the Indian indigenous knowledge and made recommendations about it. My submission before the educational fraternity is that all of us try to understand indigenous source of knowledge and standardize and make part of the formal education system. That would be your excellent contribution so far indigenous knowledge, source of knowledge is concerned. Now, friends, the chairperson of the session, Professor Geeta Somnath, also suggested mixing of approaches in the formal institution. That she also made that we should combine deschooling and schooling so that we can improve the quality of teaching. And another very important, Dr. Nirma, another very important where I agree with her, she made an observation that self-direct learning is more suitable for lifelong learning. Here, 100% agreement that if you are student, because I have visited lifelong learning institution in Canada. I mean, there's no age, because knowledge is, growing exponentially. I'm updated if I'm out of circulation if I'm not updating myself, even after retiring from vice chancellorship. Therefore, what I'm suggesting that so far lifelong learning is concerned, I think self-direct learning mode is the best mode because we are not having resources for in the entire population. Professor Arvind Kumar Jha's address on competence-based learning was an intellectual feast for me. It was an intellectual feast for me. In his opening remarks, he stated that secondary and college education should be geared towards skill formation and university education for knowledge. Friend, with his consent, I intend to modify this proposition. I intend to modify this observation by stating that both secondary and tertiary education should factor in skill formation as well as knowledge. However, the ratio may differ. In the secondary school education, more weightage to the skills, and in the university, more weightage to knowledge. But we should not go to an extreme, making reservation only for skill and making reservation only for knowledge, because both are interconnected. Both enrich each other. Both don't stand all alone. None of them stand alone. Both are interconnected. There are backward and forward linkages between these two. Therefore, they should be made part of both schooling as well as secondary and tertiary education. He very beautifully described three components or ingredients of competence-based learning: knowledge component, behavior component, and value component. He also highlighted the significance of evidence-based learning. Very important. I'm working on public policy. There's a trend of evidence-based public policy. Therefore, it's evidence-based learning. If you have evidence-based learning, you can convince your students. Otherwise, you can't convince the 21st students in the class if your learning is not evidence-based learning. They see, when we were students, there was only one textbook. That textbook was only with the teacher, and teacher was the only source for our knowledge. That whatever he was teaching, that was final to us. There was no way to cross-check it. Now things have changed. Therefore, a revolution has taken place in the knowledge industry. Therefore, this evidence-based learning, multidisciplinary approach, and constructive learning, very beautiful observation he made. Professor R.G. Kothari, chairperson, acknowledged the role of situational analysis as a prerequisite for competence-based learning. He documented 5 features of a distinguished good teacher. And I really enjoyed all 5. And all of you, I am 100% have enjoyed gentle. Teachers should be gentle. Arrogance, ego has no place in a teaching profession. Then you should go elsewhere. You may go elsewhere. There's no place in teaching profession. Understanding learners. If you can't understand your student, you can't be a good teacher. You should dance in the class as per the tunes of the learner rather than other way around. You should not act as a monopolist in the classroom. I mean, you are teaching. Therefore, you see the way they are receiving your instruction. Eye-to-eye contact is must in the classroom. Caring. See, it's not only that you have taught something about teaching pedagogy. In the corridor, you put your hand on the shoulder of a student and ask, "Beta, ki hai? Kaise ho? Koi problem to nahi hai?" Like, give personal touch like a mother and father to a teacher, to a student, and loving, fun loving. See, very, very, very interesting. Normally, we have a formal relationship. Cha peen bhi bakhre jane hain, coffee house bhi bakhre jane hain, but fun loving. Picnic pe jaake ta katto kat enjoy karo je hor kite nahi kar sakte. We don't picnic sir main nahi jana sir main. Go with them. I have been to with my students throughout India. Different way of understanding student psyche. And go back to your student age, then try to see. And 100% sharing. He gave an example, sharing. These are the 5. He also spoke about the competence-based learning model having 20 components and so on and so forth. Friends, in the panel discussion, I only attended introduction by younger colleague, Dr. Jasveer Kaur Chahal. I have very established connections with the field of education. I was coordinator of B.Ed counseling admission a couple of times. The way she introduced the panelist and the theme of the panel, it was par excellence and took me back to the memory lane of B.Ed, centralized admission, where I think Professor Satinder Tilno, Dr. Khushbinder Kumar, Dr. Jasveer Chahal, and all senior colleagues, we were together in the gymnasium hall and somewhere else. And I enjoyed those responsibilities to enrich the field of education, and also recollected when Dr. Jasveer Chahal was speaking. Now, friends, after listening to most of the presentation and sharing with you, what are the takeaways from my side? Now, what I can give you at this juncture? 4 or 5 takeaways I can share with you. The first takeaway is that knowledge is a newfound source of economic and social development. I'm a student of economics and public policy and public administration. I know what's the power of knowledge. Perhaps we people in the education institution underestimate our significance in the entire system. We are very powerful people at this juncture of 21st century, but we don't realize our potential. Second, knowledge is growing exponentially. When knowledge is growing exponentially, it is our responsibility, Professor Rashmi, to keep a pace with the knowledge. Any source, any mode, whatever we can, we should exploit to keep ourselves updated. I think yesterday I was listening to one of the panelists that, if you open something today and open something tomorrow on any search engine, huge entries have been added. Huge entries. See, Professor Nilma, knowledge is growing at the speed of a thought. See, in a minute, new knowledge. In a minute, new knowledge. We are becoming obsolete within a minute. If you are not keeping minute to minute updating, then you may be in a job, but you're not relevant to the system. Therefore, we need to update ourselves. Professor Malik, Dr. Nehru Malik, another observation I'm going to make for the consideration of all of us. I think you, the students of education, are more familiar with all the education commissions and committees, right from first one, 1949, 47, and till this new education policy 2020. You're a student of all the policies and commission. There are 3 policy, 4 policy, and there are a lot many commissions. But I will refer to, at this juncture, Jashpal Committee on Higher Education. Now, the Jashpal Committee in Higher Education has explicitly stated that we, the education fraternity, has made artificial division of knowledge in the form of narrow disciplines. It's economics, it's political science, it's education, and it's the chemistry. Within chemistry, it's a physical chemistry, it's a organic chemistry, it's inorganic chemistry, and so on and so forth, mathematics, physics, and so on and so forth. See, knowledge is one. What we have made artificial divisions so that our vested interest can be served, that my student can be appointed, your student can be appointed. Ancient history, Madam Nilma, we have an ancient history department in the university, and we have ancient history as a specialization in the history department. The pass outs are not eligible this way or that. I mean, we are so rigid about our vested interest, our dominance, that we don't allow this mobility. Yesterday, Professor I think Professor Jha did speak about multidisciplinary approach, but we don't. But when we go back to education, we will go back to economics and public policy. Again, we will become same rigid as we were yesterday. See, this I have spoken about it at lot many places, but same thing. Now see, time has come, according to that committee, time has come to dismantle artificial disciplinary boundaries and become champions of a multidisciplinary approach in teaching and research. The National Education Policy 2020 has also recommended to make education more holistic and multidisciplinary. If you read the report. Now, because I'm addressing teachers of education, for teacher education, also NEP 2020 has emphasized on multidisciplinary approach. Quote, the teacher education is vital in creating a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation. Teacher preparation is an activity that requires multidisciplinary perspective and knowledge, formation of dispositions and values, and development of practice under the West mentor. Even for teacher education, the new education policy, national education policy, has spoken about multidisciplinary approach. Therefore, it's a time has come that we have to nurture this. Finally, friends, my final takeaway is that being teacher of education, you have added responsibility. Now I'm giving something to you if you can perform, because we, the senior, have this tendency of preaching, making this like a statement, but this is specific responsibility I'm assigning, which I am 100% sure you can perform. That being teacher of education, you have added responsibility of undertaking. Whereas in Nirma, you have an added responsibility of undertaking research and innovation in the cutting edge area of learning process and outcome. Huge potential we have. Huge potential we have. It's a very fertile ground for the teacher of education, that innovation and research in the cutting edge area of learning and outcome. And you have the responsibility, another Dr. Nehru Malik, because you can do this job at affiliated colleges, that you have the responsibility of disseminating across discipline the latest advances in teaching pedagogy, so that it is not only the education discipline, but all disciplines in the education institution adopt the latest approaches, advances in the teaching pedagogy, and making respective disciplines learner-centric. You have, friends, you have, Dr. Nilma, what I have found throughout my education profession, that there are area of super specialization. In education, there are sub-specialization. In economics, there are sub-specialization. In chemistry, I have given physical, organic, inorganic. We don't interact within a discipline. Therefore, we lack vertical linkages, and we don't interact with other disciplines. We lack horizontal linkages. There's a scientist, Professor Nilma, I'm forgetting his name, and he is also a novelist from the United Kingdom. He has spoken about two cultures. In the education system, two cultures. Science and social sciences, housed in the same university, don't interact with each other. Therefore, they are two separate cultures. That's why our society suffers. So far, the latest, so far the existing problems are concerned. Therefore, friends, it's a right time that we should build, strengthen vertical linkages within the discipline and horizontal discipline with all disciplines like humanities, social sciences, and technology, so that our education institution may emerge as a top-ranking institution across the globe. Because there's time limitation, I think I must again thank the organizer for giving me an opportunity to make me wiser. Because of listening to you yesterday and today, I have become wiser so far the field of education is concerned, and I have also become a sort of divana also for education as a discipline is concerned. You are so good. You are so good, technically speaking, also not only description. Technically speaking, also you delivered excellent product service yesterday. It was a really treat to me to listen to you, and I also thank all the audience participants for their kind attention and patient listening. Thank you very much once again,
Thank you.
especially Professor Khushvinder Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. You are great.
I don't know.
Thank you very much, sir. All your
Thank you
reflections.
very much, Professor Guman. It means our choice was quite good.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. I should say.
I don't know.
Excellent.
Please, please.
Anyway, sir, sir, we are going to associate you in CTEF. Personally, if the year, I'll personally go to Punjab myself, to Chandigarh myself.
See,
But
all
before
my-
that, I'll
all my-
discuss.
All my children are part of the family.
because your presentation today is extremely rewarding. It is extremely rewarding.
Thank you.
Rewarding. So we need persons like you to guide
you,
us.
ma'am.
To guide us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
No
sir.
problem. Always welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Khushvinder sir, I think you would be the right person. कि rather sir da thanks ta tusi karo, क्योंकि you are so attached, because we have seen the critical analysis of the presenters, the observation sir has made of all the presentations, the keywords, the messages, and his all, like in his own takeaways, as well as sir has given us the valuable suggestions. But Khushvinder sir, tusi manu sun rahe ho ji?
Yes, Dr. Nehru,
I think you would be
just 5 minutes we will take to release the journal. Kindly convey to share the screen and show. I had already talked to Richa. Then I'll speak about 5 minutes because Professor Bhagat is trapped somewhere. He couldn't join. He is the managing editor. So kindly share the screen and show MIRJ.
Yes.
Thank you, P.S. Ghuman sir, for your presidential remarks. Thank you, Madam Nilima Bhagwati. Now proceeding further, the time has come to release the CTEF Research Journal. I request Madam Shivani, who is with the technical support with us, to proceed with the further. Yes, yes. This is over to
Permit
you.
me to, Dr. Nilima, may I take 2 minutes on behalf of Professor Bhagat?
Please do.
As I already told, he is the managing editor of this multidisciplinary international research journal. Is very rightly, Professor B.S. Ghuman was talking about the multidisciplinary approach. Sir, we were in the process of releasing this journal for last 3 years. But in the changed scenario of NEP 2020, we thought of it as a multidisciplinary international research journal. Professor Bhagat from Northeastern Hill University Department of Management, he is the managing editor. I'm taking up the responsibility of editor-in-chief, and we have a good team of advisory board and the editorial board from across the globe and from various disciplines. So it is the first issue. Instead of going for quantity, we decided to choose only 4 good journal research papers which have been published in the first issue. I hope by next issue we'll be improving a little more. So with the continuous guidance and inspiration of our Secretary General, our National President, and the various chapters, we ultimately materialized this journal, which is before you. And I expect all the chapters will be contributing in the coming times. The PDF file of this journal has already been shared in the group. You might refer. So I take this pleasure to announce and request Madam Nilima Bhagwati to announce the release formally of this research journal.
Yes, Dr. Khushvinder, I said indeed another feather to CTEF. You're exactly correct. For the last 2 years, we're thinking about doing something for a multidisciplinary international research journal. And finally, it has come, it took a shape, and we are required to send and submit one copy for our required official recognition. Now that will be coming soon, and hopefully our next will be inviting research-based papers, and Khusbinder rightly said that our quality counts more. Our quality counts more. We'll be inviting paper. So I just declare this multidisciplinary research journal. It is declared to be released from my end. Thank you very much. Thank you for the cooperation, and thank you for all the help which we have received.
Thank you very much, Madam. With this formal announcement of the journal, for further proceedings, over to Dr. Nehru Malik.
Thank you very much, Khushwinder sir and Nilima ma'am. Rather, we congratulate all the 4 authors of the papers. Those papers has been very well published in the first, volume of this Journal of Repute. Heartiest congratulations for CTEF for making the dream true, which was pending since 3 years. Congratulations to Team CTEF. Now, another annual feature of CTEF is to present the CTEF Annual Award Giving Ceremony. To do the honor, I request Madam Nilima Bhagwati to please take over.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are coming to the fag end of our 2 days 35th annual conference. And all of you know, due to pandemic, our two last years, that is in 2020 and 2020, and this year we are doing it virtually. I express my happiness that since 2010, CTEF, it started giving inspiration, motivating our CTEF chapters on the basis of their performance. The amount of work they will do for the teaching community, for the student community, the publications, and whatever program, teacher-centric, student-centric, that recognition, it started from the year 2010. So I have got all the year, but today I will just come because we don't have much time. So for this year, we have a group, WhatsApp group. It was already posted, and the reports of the chapters, they poured in, they came to us, and to judge, to evaluate, to screen, we already have a jury. The jury comprises of members, learned members from 4 zones, from North Zone, from South Zone, East Zone, and West Zone. So it is up to them to evaluate, to see through what kind of activities they are doing and what kind of contribution they are giving to the teaching community, to the student community. So for this year, 2022, we should have actually had it in 2021, but we're just exceeding 1 month extra. So for this year, the report, it just came to my hand, and I'll be happy to tell you that there were 6 categories of award on the basis of performance of the states. Without delay, I will start from the bottom. I'll start from the bottom. And from this year, a very wonderful name has been given by our South Zone Vice President, Dr. V.M. Shashikumar, Blooming Award. Blooming Award is for the state chapters who are really blooming, coming up, flowering. Okay, so let me start from here. This year, CTEF Blooming chapter, it goes to Karnataka, J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, and UP. I repeat again, please give a big clap to them. I think you can unmute. You can unmute and clap. Talia. I'm coming to the Blooming chapter has gone, I'm repeating again, jointly to Karnataka, Jammu and Kashmir, and UP. Coming to the another one, that is Inspiring Chapter, CTEF Inspiring Chapter. the jury, they have decided again jointly 2 chapters. They are CTEF Gujarat and CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh. I'm repeating again, CTEF Inspiring Chapter, CTEF Gujarat and CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh. Then coming to, going gradually to the top, Emerging CTEF Chapter. Emerging CTEF Chapter, again the jury decided 2 chapters. One is CTEF Uttarakhand and the other one is CTEF Meghalaya. I repeat again, Emerging CTEF Chapter, one is Meghalaya and the other one is Uttarakhand. Gradually coming to the top, Active Chapter. This is actually the second best, but we, the jury board, we have just named it as active. They're really very actively working. Active CTEF chapters. Please, can anybody guess which will be the active CTEF chapter?
Punjab and Chandigarh.
Punjab and Chandigarh already got it.
Kerala. Kerala.
Yes, Kerala is the active CTEF chapter. Kerala did a number of activities and also they brought out the newsletter and plus the enrollment of members. And finally, the best performance chapter, only one, and I'm leaving it to you to guess. I'm leaving you to guess very quickly the best performance chapter. Assam. Then any more?
USA.
No. Any more? One more guess I will allow.
This is Nepal, Manipur.
Okay. CTEF best performance chapter goes to CTEF Assam. Goes to Assam. So this award we have received it consecutively for 2 years, last year also and this year. And let me tell you that actually this award we're dedicating to the teaching community, and this is completely the hard work of the CTEF chapter. We have 8 districts. We have number of very active flight members who are dedicatedly working for the welfare of the teaching community. And besides that, they are very sincere and punctual in doing the works. I am just guiding them. I'm talking over telephone, but it is these, the hard workers who are doing the works, and they have come out with the flying colors. And very quickly, I will say, this will indeed be a motivation. All the chapters, actually, we are giving for motivation to all. And we have maximum youngsters in our year. CTEF Life members, actually, they have given CTEF Life members drive 70 in the year 2021. And total we have right now 460 members. Then CTEF activities, they have conducted in all the districts, 33. Then CTEF Assam publications, they have published one book on reimagining learning and beyond, and 2 online books they have done, and it is in Amazon. You can also have it. I will send you that international webinar they have done, and they have done 7 national webinars. Annual convention on the theme, CTEF Annual Assam Convention on the theme, Decoding, Reform, Perform, Transform Higher Education. Then another very good one we have started, like synchronizing with the birth centenary of our founder, President Gulab Chaurasia, which is awarding the best district teacher on 5th September. And that went to the teacher principal in Sibsagar district, Assam. Then interactive students program with forestman Jadap Payan, Padmasri Jadap Payan on environmental preservation. Webinar series, I already told you. Talk shows we have started from 26th June. And the first was given by Professor Keshav Sharma from Himachal. He was former professor, Himachal University. And that was on erosion of values and the issues and the way forward and what we can do to revive. And executive board meeting, we had 15. So all this, I don't know, the jury decided that these were some of the targeted activities to the teaching community, to the student community as well. And I am grateful to the jury. I'm grateful for selecting all the chapters on the basis of their reports. So wonderfully done. And obviously next year, there'll be more works to be done by all the chapters. And next year, the competition will be very tough. Next year, I'm sure the competition will be very tough because more and more chapters, our chapters are very dedicated, all the chapters. They will do more work. I'm just looking forward to get a huge pile of report from one chapter. Thank you all very much. We have made it short, our awarding CTEF award session, because the time is already, we are late, 1:30. Thank you once again, and over to Khushvinder, Dr. Khushvinder.
Sorry for the interruption. I am Dr. G.M. Sunagar, working as assistant professor in Vijayanagara College of Education, Hubli, Karnataka, madam.
Yes.
Actually, I am very much impressed and very much inspired by the activity is conducting by the CTEF. So that I want to connect with the CTEF Karnataka chapter. What I have to do and what is the procedure for that?
Yeah, I will just tell you. It is nothing. I will just send it to you. Kindly note. You can take from the organizer my phone number also. Kindly get connected to me. I will connect you with the chairperson and the secretary of Karnataka chapter. Okay. And you can pass that to the others who are interested.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You please.
You kindly share your contact number in the group, and you will get the relevant information.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. I will just send my.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your interest and for your interest to do more works.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Nilima Bhagwati. I'm really indebted and I'm grateful to the efforts of the jury for selecting all the CTEF chapters for various positions.
Sorry, I forgot one A, another A category I went on. That is the best newsletter. The best newsletter that was given to 2 chapters, again jointly. One is Assam and the other one is Kerala.
Good. Congratulations to all the winning, to all the remarkable works done by the various chapters and their recognitions. With the permission of the host college and Professor Nehru Malik, Professor Malik, may I take up to present the vote of thanks, because Madam Stinder is not able to.
No, sir, I was about to request you for the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, because I got the message from Professor Stinder Dhillon. She was not able to connect, though she was supposed to. Presently, she is in Canada, and due to the time zone and connectivity issue, she have to disconnect. Was connected for some time, but couldn't continue. So it is now my pious duty to express my gratitude. First of all, beginning from the end, to Professor B.S. Ghumman. I hope he is with us. At that time, I was more curious and finding it short of time to release the magazine. So Professor Malik, at that time, I requested you to just do that. But I hope the taste is still fresh. How analytical.
So we cannot hear you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Right. Thank you. So my gratitude goes in abundance to Professor B.S. Ghumman, who very analytically presented the 2 days report of our webinar and conference. Sir, we are ready to take head on the responsibilities and the areas which you have shown to CTEF for our future tasks. And I hope by the next annual conference, we'll be able to show you our works
which has been done or which will be done in the coming year.
Report card.
All
Report
the
card.
CTEF state chapters, not exactly, sir, but even then we'll be happy to present you that report card also, because I'm impressed, as you mentioned, the 3 or 4 areas where I happen to work under your guidance. All those areas I had learned remarkable things under your guidance, under your stewardness, and I'm really blessed to work with you under those areas. You very rightly mentioned that perhaps the Punjabi University, and I would like to mention here my college, Modi College also, that even before the pandemic, we had an action plan to act during that times, and that is why Punjabi University and both Modi College stand apart during this pandemic. And we show the example, set the example for other institutions and universities also, that how to work. I'm happy that you have mentioned about taken note, you have listened. Dear participants, let me express here that why we choose Professor Gumman, because I rarely find such sincerity time management amongst the teacher, amongst the persons who are of high stature like vice chancellor, etc. It is very difficult for them to manage 2 or 3 days continuously to be present during the whole conference and webinar, and then give the presidential remarks. But Professor Gumman is known for such things. As during the memorial lectures, it was mentioned about Dr. Devraj Vij, and the person who was presenting, Dr. Rashmi Khurana, he is, I think, the person who was eagerly awaited by the silver screen personalities to be introduced, interviewed, and conducted sessions with on All India Radio Delhi. She spent whole of her career at All India Radio Jalandhar, and she happened to be with Professor Devraj Vij as mentor through. Also gave a feeling of that affection, or I preferably should say the affectionate domain, which every time Professor Devraj Vij recognized and emphasized that teachers should connect through effective domain with his learners and colleagues. So you have very rightly mentioned those areas. And our choice about the first days to technical sessions, you very rightly already mentioned about both the persons, and what remarkable they have remarkably mentioned during their presentations. The first technical session was taken by Sandhya Milind. I think the abstract and the best points have been already shared by you. In the second, Professor Arvind Kumar Jha. So I would like to mention Professor Jha is the third shared co-author now amongst one of the most rarest of the rare education source book author and of the third generation amongst for the revision of that book. So our choice of the technical sessions and resource persons, I'm happy, has been appreciated and recognized. The tone was rightly set for the conference by Professor Rajput. Sir, being brief, the way in which the conference was very precisely, meticulously, and in a disciplined way was organized by the organizing collaborator college, Dev Samaj College of Education. It is really wonderful. We know Dev Samaj College for last about 30 years, and it is known for its quality. When I talk about the state of Punjab and CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh, again, it is remarkably known for the quality pursuits in teacher education and the teacher education institutions, their working, their administration, and the management by the universities. It was perhaps the first state which take very strict actions and decisions on the quality of our education, TEIs, teacher education institutions, after formation of NCTE. With all this, I really acclaim and acknowledge the work done by all the CTEF members and Dev Samaj College of Education. I'm indebted to the management of Dev Samaj College of Education and Professor Agnes Dillon, Principal, Dev Samaj College of Education. Last but not the least, the all stewardess has been given by our Secretary General, International Secretary General, Professor Nilima Bhagwati. She belonged to state of Assam, but now she belonged to India, rather to the globe. And I'm really happy that most of our overseas chapters connected with us. I'm indebted to the chairpersons of those chapters also. And lastly, I'm really grateful to Professor Bhandarkar for connecting all these peoples. And hopefully we will be meeting with our, as Professor Gumman already told, as the report card. Yes, Professor Gumman, it is the report card, as you see, that we have various categories. Amongst those categories, the state chapters has been assessed and recognized for their role and for their work. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Before departing, I hope we'll play the national anthem. Professor Malik.
Can I, Kuzvinder, can I
Yes,
give one
please.
announcement? Can I give an announcement, please? Yes. Actually, I want to give the announcement that next year, 36th CTEF Annual Conference, it will be in Tamil Nadu. If it is offline, it will be there. Online, they will host it. But hopefully, we are hoping that it will be offline next year, and pandemic will leave us very soon, so that all of us can go and meet physically and face to face. We can talk, hear, get the mental food, and come back to our respective states and enrich the education sector. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for this announcement, and congratulations to CTEF Tamil Nadu. I would like to add that it was the 5th annual conference which has been hosted by the CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh.
Yes, 35th. That will be 36th.
35th, but I am referring to out of these 35, state of CTEF Punjab and Chandigarh was organized 5th time.
Yes, fifth time. Right, 5th time.
Over to Dr. Nehru Malik.
Thank you, Dr. Nilima, and thank you, Dr. Kushwinder, sir. Now we request on behalf of the organizers, everyone to please rise for the national anthem. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मेरा
चलधि तरंग तब शुभ
नामे जागे
तब शुभ
मांगे
गाहे तब जय गाथा
जन
गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे
जय हे
जय हे
जय
Thank you, everyone. Although the audio was, it was not audible, lekin national anthem it was, and it was sung by each and everyone. So it is again an active participation by all the participants.
Thank you, Dr. Nehru Malik. Actually, the national anthem was as it should be sung by all. So thank you very much. With the permission of our International Secretary General, you can close the meeting.
Yes, and before that, I thank Dr. Nehru Malik. She has just wonderful job. She has taken over and completed. That's really great of you, Dr. Nehru. And earlier also, she has done. So it was very fruitful, very rewarding, all these 2 days for all of us. We have, now you all are doing the virtual, but we'll connect with each other always. And with these words, I declare the 35th CTEF Annual Conference closed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Before
Thank
leaving,
you.
एक वो भारत माता की
Jai.
Thank you. Congratulations all the
Thank
CT
you.
families.
Thank you.
Yes, 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 yes. Jaspal, please say.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to you, Jaspal Warrell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jaspal, and next year he will come with more and more and more activities.
मेरा मन था कि मैं 36 करवाऊं नेशनल, लेकिन हम नेक्स्ट 37 वाला हम करवाएंगे.
ठीक है, please. Please.
Ma'am, with your permission.
Proposal for 37th, kindly note that I endorse that.
J&K. I will note it in my diary today only.
Right, and the state of Punjab, CTF Punjab will be happy to help the state of J&K for this organizing.
Thank you.
Ma'am, with your permission, we would like to inform the participants that we have shared the feedback link in the webinar as well as in the WhatsApp group. So all are requested to please fill and submit by today evening.
Okay. And regarding the other informations, I will just post it in the group, particularly the certificates to all the awardees, the states, that will go by post. That I will I'll start the process from Tuesday, because I'll be out of station for 2 days. I'll start it from Tuesday, and the awards, it will be sent by the donors themselves to the respective states. That was the decision which the jury board gave.